Ragazzi, benvenuti in questo quarto episodio di Dragon Age The Veilguard. Eravamo rimasti che abbiamo salvato Miratus e ora dobbiamo cercare un negromante e un cacciatore di draghi. Prima di partire volevo un attimo dirvi quello che penso del gioco, perché fino ad ora comunque ho trasmesso che mi sta piacendo comunque. Ed è così. Però anche riguardando in editing, cioè non riesco a fare a meno di notare come comunque sia molto peggiore rispetto ad Inquisition. Come ci sono cose, cioè io non l'ho mai detto anche perché l'ho tenuto per me il parere, perché non ero certo di quale fosse questo parere. Però vi posso dire che sento che manca qualcosa. La scrittura non è all'altezza di Inquisition, è molto minore. È comunque godibile, sto riuscendo a godermelo. Perché comunque ci sono dei momenti positivi. Ma la scrittura è molto peggiore. Sto riuscendo a godermelo solamente perché ho fatto Mark. Perché se avete fatto l'una, un personaggio sul malvagio, avete detto dopo mezz'ora: ragazzi, il roleplay qui è una merda. Però, cioè, non lo è per me, perché ho fatto un personaggio in linea con le scelte che ci sono, ma in generale lo è abbastanza. Perché non puoi veramente fare niente di malvagio. I concetti che trasmetti sono sempre gli stessi. E vabbè, però per me in questo momento non è un problema. Tra le scelte di dialogo, anche se non c'è chissà quale differenza, non è un problema per me, perché per Mark riesce ad essere comunque una scelta. Riesco comunque a scegliere ciò che sta bene per Mark. Ci sono diverse cose che mi lasciano dire: ok, però speravo di più, come il drago che distrugge Treviso. Arriviamo, già tutto distrutto. Oh, il drago ha volato per ore. Basta, l'unica cosa che vedi è il pus in giro. Non vedi nessuna persona che sta male. Cioè, fossimo stati su Inquisition, ci sarebbe stata un'inquadratura sulla città, no? Con le persone così che stanno male, ferite, che i dialoghi magari tra due genitori che parlano tra di loro, con la madre che piange perché c'è il figlio morto per terra bruciato vivo, no? Qualcosa di molto più profondo, gente che sta male per strada. Cioè, invece no, visuale sui tentacoli e i Lucani seduto, fine. Cioè, ecco. Oppure tipo quando non ero sicuro che l'urlatrice avesse ucciso i grifoni o no, io ho deciso, vabbè, magari sono stupido, io non sono stato attento. Invece no, proprio la regia era una merda, perché vedi che volano via con un tornado per 2 secondi, poi inquadratura primo piano su di lui, primo piano sulla sua schiena, non capisci e poi sono spariti, non capisci un cazzo. Quindi sì, ci sono un sacco di cose che non sono il massimo, per usare un eufemismo, però riesco comunque a godermelo e sono curioso di vedere come va avanti. Ok, allora andiamo dal Cunari. Ci sono un paio di missioni secondarie da fare, però io già vi dico che mi impegnerò poco a fare completismo di missioni secondarie e terziarie, perché ne ho fatte alcune che non ho messo. Sono tutte abbastanza noiosette, niente di esaltante. Purtroppo mi è uscito fuori in un reel, purtroppo non volevo, che lei è non binary. Ci sarà da divertirsi in sta missione. Ok, vediamo. Ok, dai, le animazioni di combattimento qua sono fighe. Donna Barbara, ci sta, figa. Ah no, aspetta, non è donna, è...
Hey.
Vabbè, concentriamoci su... Vabbè, lasciamo stare questo che ancora non è arrivato, è un mio spoiler inutile. Sembra avere stile questa.
Taash.
Yep.
Rook, I hear you need help.
The Lords want to hit a cave on the coastal cliffs. Big Vincimer makes her lair there. We get her out, the Lords get in, we go home and get drunk. Might be more on Tom. Don't get in my way.
Let's move.
Sembra interessante come personaggio.
So what's the plan exactly?
We need
È
to
un
lure the
personaggio
Vincimer
molto
out of her
duro,
lair.
Molto
I said bait.
determinato, mi
She comes
piace.
out to eat. My partners loot the lair while she's out here. We'll find the bait on the beach.
You said the dragon we're dealing with was a Vinsimer.
Yeah, blue with a yellow belly. Breathes lightning.
Oh, one that breathes lightning? I've heard stories.
We're not fighting her. Lords just want the horde in her lair.
Ma Er? Stai assumendo il genere del drago? Come ti permetti? Gli hai chiesto quali sono i suoi pronomi? Come ti permetti?
Watch
Oh.
yourself. They have gatlock cannons.
So you've got no problem fighting other Qunari.
I'm from Ravane. Not like I follow the Qun.
You've got the arm ropes.
Sure, I wear a lot of stuff. You don't get to tell me who I am. Doesn't matter anyway. The Antam don't follow the Qun either. Not anymore.
Sì, comunque immaginavo non seguisse il Kun.
I don't.
I thought you wanted us here to help you.
No.
Ah, calcia, bam, con che potenza.
We're not fighting the dragon?
No. Vinsimers eat big game, usually sea life. They're not hostile unless you do something stupid.
Ok.
Like, poke around in its lair?
Right. So we lure her out, then the lords go in and grab anything shiny.
But you do kill dragons, right? You're a dragon hunter.
I kill them when they need killing. This one doesn't.
Ci sta, è un Ammazzadraghi, appunto perché è un Ammazzadraghi li conosce meglio di chiunque altro e quindi capisce quando qualcuno non è ostile e non c'è bisogno di ucciderlo. Però giustamente si preoccupava non perché è contro i draghi, ma perché a noi serve qualcuno che sia esperto di Ammazzadraghi, di uccidere draghi, quindi se non lo era un problema per noi.
You said we'd find bait here?
Bait'll find us. Come on.
How is the bait gonna find us?
Spiaggia del
Deep
drago.
stalkers.
Knew they'd find us.
The deep stalkers are the bait? Why are you making me feel sorry for them?
Bam, perfetto, muori.
I think that's the last of them. Now what?
Now I get the fire going and make our dragon dinner. Good. She'll like it. And this potion will put her to sleep for a few hours. But we gotta get her attention.
Ah, così
Use
vediamo
the
di
horn up
ucciderla.
there. Come on, she'll be here soon.
So we held up our end of the bargain?
You did okay. So, what do y'all do?
Right now, we're trying to take down evil god monsters and their blighted dragons.
What? That can't be right. Dragons don't get blighted. They're smart enough to avoid that crap.
However it's
yeah.
happening, the gods are using the blight to force dragons to attack people.
That's messed up. Somebody needs to stop them.
Ah, la tiriamo col corno esattamente come ci faceva in Origins. Ovviamente hanno mantenuto questa cosa.
Where are we headed?
That old Grey Warden fort. Anton might be there. I want to see what they're doing. If it's anything the Lords of Fortune need to worry about.
She responds to the horn?
This time.
You fed her before then?
Took a while to get her used to it.
It sounds like you've got her trained.
You train a dog. You reach an understanding with a dragon.
Mi pare giusto, effettivamente i draghi sono, si immagina, siano più intelligenti di un cane.
That was close. Maybe too close.
Letting us know she sees us. Might also be her way of saying thanks for the food.
Ma quindi, cioè, lei proprio è praticamente amica di questo drago. Gli dà il cibo. O comunque
Someone built an entire fortress.
È in relazione
and
con
then
questo
left it
drago,
empty?
cioè lo conosce, si conoscono a
There seems to be
vicenda,
a
si
big
aiutano a
Grey Warden
vicenda.
outpost.
Comunque
They
lei lo
left
aiuta.
after the Darkspawn stopped coming. Shit. More on Tom. You're not even supposed to be here! They've got us in range. Weak dust people? I'll show you weak dust people! Come on, let's keep looking.
You got it.
So the Antom took over the outpost after the Grey Wardens abandoned it?
Yeah. Ravane and the Canary were at peace forever. Then the Antom broke away from the Qun and invaded. The Canary builders are part of a different caste. They didn't break away. So the Antom take over old forts like this instead of building their own.
Non vogliono uccidere il drago.
Going after the Vincimer.
Is that bad? She can deal with that, right?
Not after I drugged her. Come on.
Ah, perché l'ha fatto addormentare.
They knew I drug her to make her sleep.
Sei una cogliona. Vabbè, non poteva saperlo. Ah, l'ho fatto cadere di sotto, perfetto. Si butta di qua.
They haven't seen us yet. We can run.
Hey!
Gli Antam sono veri cunari.
I brought her down. She's mine by right.
Makara.
Mara Namra Benari Ebala. A Taash Martarost, a Sitarala. Kyuto.
Una si besidam.
Una è spazzatura. Ma che cosa?
Tarala.
È in parte drago? Approfondiremo il legame tra i cunari e i draghi con questo personaggio.
Better be ready.
Livello 20. Bam! 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 E poi così! Fantastico!
Coming at range.
Watch for incoming.
Ready to go again. They're at range.
Livello 21, 2 livelli così.
So, you breathed fire.
Yeah.
But how?
Were we supposed to know this? Because I don't remember you mentioning it.
We can talk later. Let me know when you're ready.
Sei
I'll
un
burn
mezzo
the chains off
drago.
the dragon.
Does she know we're trying to help?
No, she's pissed.
We don't have to fight her, do we?
We can run. I don't think she'll chase us.
As one dragon flew off, now safe to finish its nap, uninterrupted, another was about to wake up. The surviving Antam poachers carried news of a fire-breathing Kunari back to their leader. Taash and the team would soon find themselves being hunted by the Dragon King.
Il Dragon King. Però ancora non lo sappiamo noi. Non ho la minima idea di che cosa sia questo Dragore.
Wonderfully done, Taash. While you played with the big scary dragon, we looted the shiny stuff from her cave. So, Rook,
Isabella?
Marek's talked about you.
Sì.
I see he wasn't making shit up this time. They call me Isabella, among other things.
What did you find in the cave?
A lot of dragon shit, gold, some fancy trinkets, and this.
Isabella, ma dovrà avere 45 anni ormai. Che poi, cioè, mi chiedo, ma se uno aveva fatto la romance con Isabella insieme ad Hawk, ed Hawk era vivo, abbiamo visto Isabella lì senza Hawk, così random. Per fortuna non è il mio caso. Chissà cosa ci fa qui, perché è qui?
It almost looks like a rune. Does it do anything?
Shit, I hope not.
It conveys knowledge. While not as impressive as a magical explosion, it can still change the world.
Rook, this is Shathan. She's our expert on Canary artifacts.
This piece predates the Steel Age by centuries. It comes from an earlier attempt at settlement. One that left no survivors. You used your fire.
What? No.
Were you seen by the Antam? You promised you would be careful, Evatash.
Ma non sono tutti morti?
You need to be away for a while. It is good you are joining Rook's team.
I'm what?
We expect some dragon trouble, so we need a dragon hunter. You'll feel right at home.
Hooray.
Our contact here said you'd agreed to join us.
Didn't Shathan... I thought you and your mother had agreed on this.
Nope.
Whoops. Well, you'll work it out. You always do. For gold and glory, Taash. You're welcome back whenever. Rook, pleasure doing business with you.
Mother, what did you do?
I thought you would enjoy the chance to work with Rook's team. Do you not wish to stop these blighted dragons?
Of course I do. I might have decided to join on my own. Maybe after you talked to me.
I talked to you about not using your fire in front of the Antam. I will prepare potions for you to take. Would you prefer ginger or lavender?
The ginger.
Hassam Vinek. Rook, you will keep her safe.
Penso che sappia tenersi al sicuro da sola.
Well, it must be nice to have your mother so involved in your life. Anyway, welcome to the team. Might not be what you wanted, but we could really use the help.
I'll get my stuff. Hey. It is.
Sorry?
Joining your team. It is what I wanted.
Glad to hear it.
Ah, boom, sono già al faro? Ok.
Usually have to dodge traps and fight spiders to see this much old elven stuff. Talk to Isabella if you want to sell any of it. She'll get you a good deal.
Spoken like a veteran treasure hunter.
Yep. For gold and glory. The lords make runs no one else can. Isabella's undies would catch fire if she saw all this.
Le mutanti di Isabella prenderebbero fuoco.
Bet you deal with a lot of nasty traps during those treasure hunts.
Yep.
What's the most complicated one you've dealt with?
Old elven armory. Had letters on tiles. Probably supposed to spell out the name of a god or something.
Probably.
I don't read elven. Found handholds in the ceiling and swung across.
That sounds more like a puzzle than a trap.
Ugh. Puzzles.
But puzzles give you a chance to test your wits, to prove you're smart enough to beat whoever designed it.
Ugh.
I ran into one while traveling with Varric. It had these 3 poles with sets of different sized rings on 2 of the poles.
And you had to move the rings over to the 3rd pole? And the rings had to be sized right and crap?
Yes, you've seen it?
That thing is Vashadan.
So why do the Lords of Fortune care enough about dragons to have a dedicated dragon hunter?
Lots of great old crap ends up in dragon hordes.
Why do dragons care about gathering treasure? It's not like they go to the market.
Dragons like metals and gems. Anything glittery catches their eye.
Huh, so they're like really large magpies?
Kinda. And they live for centuries. Lots of time to gather a bunch of shiny crap. Plus all the gear carried by idiots who thought they could kill a dragon.
Divertiti ma niente furti.
Feel free to use the ancient elven artifacts for weight training, but nothing leaves with you, okay?
Don't worry about that.
For
The Lords
weight
of Fortune
training.
aren't thieves.
Most of us shadow dragons are wanted for worse than theft. But if some lords are in it for themselves...
Nah. Anything we hunt is salvage. Old forgotten ruins and crap. And we make sure we're not screwing over a culture that lost it. That's what my mother does with the Kunari stuff.
So your mother appraises Kunari artifacts the Lords of Fortune find?
Yeah. She tells them how rare something is. How much it might be worth. Also tells them if they found something cultural.
Cultural?
You know, important. Stuff you don't want going to some rich noble's collection. The lords send that stuff back to the Kunari in Parvalin. They pay the lords a finder's fee.
Interesting. The lords do all this out of the goodness of their hearts?
We do get paid. Name another job where you get danger pay for killing giant spiders.
Right. For gold and glory.
The lords are good people. They helped my mother when she came here from Kontar. She got here with nothing but me and the clothes on her back. Only skill she had was Kunari history. The lords gave her work.
How does the Ravani Royal Guard feel about the Lords of Fortune?
They used to complain about us. But that was before the Antam invaded Ravane.
And now Rivane sees the benefits of having a bunch of heavily armed people on their side.
Same for the pirate armada. It's bigger than Ravane's official navy. But we're also helping save old artifacts. The Antam are burning ruins as they move south. We get artifacts out before the Antam destroy them. Magical stuff. Cultural stuff. Stuff you don't want to lose.
Ti lascerò il tuo oro.
All right, I guess I'll just leave you here, treasure hunter, with all the priceless artifacts.
Okay, I was gonna go back to Ravane later. Got a thing to do for my mother. You can come along, if you want.
Do I need to be ready for combat or traps?
Vuole
Nah.
la nostra presenza?
All right, just let me know when.
Chissà perché vuole la nostra presenza. Ci ha appena conosciuti, lo diceva in modo un po' timido. C'è qualcosa che preferisce non affrontare da sola. Vuole parlare Harding.
Did I see you writing a message to the Inquisition?
Inquisizione.
What's that about?
You know, Varric and I were part of the Inquisition, right? I'm trying to get news about the South. But Charter hasn't replied to any of my messages. I'm trying not to worry about what's happening there, but... No, it's probably fine. Charter's just busy. She's always busy.
Charter? Who's that?
She's the Inquisition's spy master. Or she would be, if there was still an Inquisition. I suppose she just works for the Inquisitor now?
Ah, ecco, ok. Si sta parlando dell'Inquisizione. L'Inquisizione.
I haven't heard much about the Inquisition in years.
Oh, that's intentional. When the breach was open, we needed a large group to stop Southern Thedas from falling into chaos. It's changed in the years since. We're a smaller force working underground to keep an eye on things going on in the world.
Potrebbe aiutarci.
Why isn't she here? We could use a hand.
Charter entrusted the search for Solas to Varric, to us. The world's large and she's got many things to deal with.
So, how long were you with the Inquisition? 10 years?
Something like that. Why?
You must know the Inquisitor.
Well, yeah, we worked together. I wasn't part of the Inquisitor's inner circle, though. I spent more time with the ordinary people, the ones you didn't hear about.
La gente ordinaria.
So tell me about these ordinary Inquisition members I haven't heard about.
The Inquisition hired hundreds, and most of them weren't Magisters or Ben Hasrith or the left hand of the Divine. There were scouts and stable hands, carpenters and cooks and quartermasters, even 2 dedicated pastry chefs. Most of them volunteered, like me. We wanted to help in whatever small way we could.
Piccolo, non credo proprio.
You helped people. That's not small.
It sure felt like it sometimes. I'd sit with Rector and Faulkner and we'd watch the important people with their important business rushing by.
Rector? Faulkner?
Liliana gave all her agents pseudonyms.
Right. Like Charter.
Well, charter's charter, but when the other two and I were together, we were just Lace, Wilbur, and Katya.
And the Inquisitor's advisors? What about them?
Of all of them, I'd say Josephine is my favorite. She's lovely. She still sends me a box of handmade sweets from Valroyo every year on my name day. Cullen and I got along too, but he was always busy. He would have bad days from lyrium withdrawal sometimes, and I would share the tea that my ma sent. He's from Ferelden too. Maybe it reminded him of home.
What about Liliana? I heard she's intense.
I think she likes to cultivate that reputation. She's not nearly as terrifying as she sounds. Oh, I passed her in the Great Hall one day, and she suddenly turned and asked me if I wanted a nug.
A nug? Those small pink rodent things? What for?
She loved them and made a hobby of breeding them as pets.
So, did you take the nug?
No! What am I gonna do with a nug?
Effettivamente.
But you did know people from the Inquisitor's inner circle, didn't you?
I knew them, sure, but those early days, all I wanted was to prove myself and not get in anyone's way. Some of them were more approachable than others. Sarah was a puppy with a new toy. 100 new toys. Fun, if you can handle the mess. She was really the only one who could make Rainier, well, Blackwall then, let down his guard. Otherwise, he kept to himself and stuck to the stables. We'd talk when I visited the horses. And there was Cole, of course.
The spirit boy?
Yep. I was just sitting on the walls one day, and he asked if he could join my game.
Like a card game?
Nah, just good old people watching. Must have seemed like a game to him somehow. We'd pick strangers out of the crowd and try to say something about them. Like, ooh, she heard the joke yesterday and she's still trying not to laugh. Or one of Cole's. His eyes remind her of the ones beneath her bed.
Gli occhi di lui le ricordano quelli che ha sotto il letto. Cosa? Occhi sotto il letto?
Who stores eyes under their bed? I'm partial to a nice wall display myself.
Well, that's one interpretation that never occurred to me. Thanks.
You're welcome. Wasn't Cole an empath? He must have been great at this game.
Ah, but the rule was you couldn't say anything you actually knew. He got it in the end. I think.
So you didn't ask him if you guessed right?
Well, being right wasn't the point. Making a habit of seeing people was. I think he liked that. It's why you don't miss.
Mi sta piacendo questo dialogo per ora. Stanno riuscendo a parlare dell'Inquisizione anche se non abbiamo portato quasi nessuna scelta. Ti manca l'Inquisizione?
Do you miss it? The Inquisition, I mean.
It's hard to miss an organization. They're only as good as their people, don't you think? But I do miss my friends. We write each other, but it's not the same. And the Inquisition is different from what we've built here. Not better or worse, just different. It's special when you're among people working toward the same goal.
Not everyone. There was Solas. What did you really think of him back then?
Lonely. He always seemed lonely. It's hard not to be when you hold yourself above everyone else.
As smart as he's supposed to be, there's just some things he doesn't get. At all.
Yeah. Maybe one day he will.
L'ha interpretata
Maybe.
bene, dai.
If you help him. Anyway, I'm sure something out there's on fire, and here I am rambling about the past. I should let you go. Talk later?
Dai, mi è piaciuto, mi è piaciuto. Si è parlato un po' dell'Inquisizione, ci ha introdotto l'argomento. Dai, bene, non sarà estranea per sempre.
You're up late.
You're awake to notice.
Can't sleep? I know, I'm awake to ask.
I sleep when I can get it. And this place, it's too quiet for that.
You don't find it peaceful?
You Sure you're from Minrathous?
Change of pace. It's getting to me. Okay, what works then? How do you sleep?
I don't know. Chase the right bastard through the wrong ritual? It'll knock you right out. Of course, you might wake up with a new accessory.
Cosa? Davvero? Quindi gli hanno tagliato la gamba mentre dormiva?
Really? You woke up and...
Just like that.
Wow.
There was a bit more in the middle. The ritual did a number.
And now?
It's not what keeps me up at night. It's not the quiet. I never could sleep once work gets in my head. But what's got you up at night?
When I close my eyes, I see everything the gods have done, but not what I should do next. I don't know what's going to happen.
You and me both. Restlessness catches. Get one person in a room nervous, the whole place twitches. One person can't sleep. It's only getting later. Get out while you can.
And if it's already too late?
Don't tell me you're a lost cause.
I might be.
I know the feeling.
Vuole parlare?
Rook, I was thinking of taking Hassan for a walk. He could use the exercise. Chance to stretch his wings. Thought you'd like to come along.
Va bene. Volentieri.
Let's get going.
Let's get going.
I've been thinking. Lancet and Remy used special food to train the griffins. Said it was the fastest way to start a bond.
Right, what did you call it? Turlum?
That's it. And gingerwort truffles were the griffins' favorite treats. They grow around ruins. We're going to teach Hassan how to find some.
È morta la custode che lo addestrava, quindi ora è rimasto lui, ma non è il più esperto nell'addestrare grifoni.
How did you end up with the Grey Wardens?
Grew up in a Dalish clan. I'd hear all these stories about things that happened thousands of years ago.
The Dalish do love their history.
Except I wanted to make history. Didn't fit in. Got bored, so I went looking for adventure.
How'd that go over with your clan?
Poorly. They felt like I rejected them.
Did you?
Yeah, I suppose. Clan life wasn't for me. I had to get away.
So then what happened? You're out in the world, looking for adventure.
Got my ass kicked. Went broke. I couldn't go crawling back to my clan of failure. Doubt they'd take me back. It forced me to figure out what I was good at. Always had a knack for hunting. What are you doing? That's not a truffle. That's a nug. You'll get fleas.
Le pulci.
At least he's having fun.
Truth is, he purrs when you scratch him. Maybe we can speed things up by helping him. Let's search the bushes. Look around for truffles.
Fierissimo.
Ow! That was a thorn.
Keep looking.
Nug droppings. Yuck.
The nugs pretty much own Arlithan Forest.
Nope. This is harder than it looks.
It's fleas, isn't it? What'd I tell you?
Actually, I think it's a truffle.
Huh.
Maybe the nugs like truffles. Could Hassan know that if you follow them, you might find truffles?
Are you really that smart, boy?
Seems pretty clever to me.
If only you'd be clever enough to listen.
Well, you're still getting to know each other. Remember, Turlum. Remy was probably right. Remember how she said he needed a lighter touch?
If I go soft on him, the world would chew him up.
Let's give you both a chance and see if you can find any more of these. So how did you go from hunter to slayer of monsters?
Uncle Eldrin. An old elf I knew growing up. When I was a kid, I'd hunt just about anything. Rabbits, deer, fox. Eldrin gave that purpose. Taught me the way of 3 trees. The way of the arrow, way of the bow, way of the wood.
That sounds noble.
Eldrin taught me to hunt the unnatural so the natural can thrive. Be a force for good. Besides, it was either that or starve. Monsters paid good coin.
But why become a Grey Warden? If you were making money on your own...
I didn't leave my clan to get rich. Had to prove it was all worth something. I needed a cause.
Well, there must be easier causes than fighting Darkspawn all your life.
Darkness is a sparring partner. The greater the shadow you confront, the stronger you are for winning.
Till you meet one you can't beat.
Haven't yet. There. I think it sounds
Quanti nag.
Why don't you take a look? I'll be damned. Follow the nugs.
Like I said, he's a clever one.
Might make a tracker out of you yet. Hungry? What? It's gingerwort. Eat it.
Remember, light touch.
I mean, it's dessert fit for a prince. See?
Being too harsh could make him more stubborn.
And save his life. With Lancet and Remy gone, if something happens to me, he'll have to stand on his own.
So don't let anything happen to you.
I'm a Grey Warden. Death's around every corner. Not that I don't enjoy punching it squarely in the face.
2 or 3 times, just to be sure.
But you can't beat back death forever. Okay, boy. That's enough for one day.
But he's having fun.
He overeats, and you'll find out how fun griffin puke is.
Hassan, you heard him. Let's go.
Dai, carina come missione. Si è esplorato un attimo un po' di più il personaggio. Si è visto il grifone un po' più da vicino. Ci sta. Allora, ci ha richiesto la nostra presenza.
Hey. Some for you. Some for you. Hey, don't be a dick. That was for the little one. Stupid birds.
Look at you feeding the birds.
My mother made me do it when I was young. Sent me out here every night with dinner scraps.
We're a ways from town.
She said I had a lot of energy to burn off. Sometimes I practice with the fire out here. It's safer. No people around. Lots of water.
Is it magic or...
It's not magic. My mother says the Kunari used to be closer to dragons. Something in our blood.
The Anton called you a Dari.
Yeah. Old Kunari word for fire breather. A few like me are born every generation. My mother thinks the Dari were meant for something special. She's always looking through the old texts for clues. Come on. Don't want to scare the birds.
Quindi, questa cosa non si sapeva, non si è mai sentita dire negli altri Dragon Age, quindi...
My mother left the Qun not far from here.
Tipo...
She got herself transferred to Kontar.
Il sangue ancestrale su The Witcher.
Smuggled me there and then walked out.
I thought Kontar was well fortified. How did she escape with a child?
The Qun isn't a prison. People can leave if they want. You little guys hungry?
Taash approva.
Do you miss living under the Qun?
Not much to miss. I was a baby. My mother misses it. She was an Ashkari back then. A scholar.
Why'd she leave?
Me. There's enough for all of you.
Beh, non ci vedo niente di male, dai, un momento di
Shathan was
relax.
worried about what the Kunari would
Però
do
prova
with a
ad ogni
fire
singola
breather
volta.
like me.
What would they do?
She said they'd have me put in the Antam. Use me as a berserker. The idea scared her enough that she left her library and walked away from the Qun. Come on. Over here's where I practice.
Why not on the beach?
Don't want to scare the birds. We just fed them. What the crap is that?
The Antom must be marking their territory.
Not on my beach. Vash Vatari! Come on. These banners need to burn.
Ovviamente il suo potere è quello, soffio di fuoco.
Gotcha.
Vabbè. Potentissima.
Nice. What does it feel like when you breathe fire like that?
It's more like spitting.
Ew.
Something inside my throat opens up and lets stuff mix together. Then there's this rush of heat as I roar it out.
I'm surprised it doesn't hurt your mouth to do that.
It can. One time my tongue got in the way. Got a mouthful of fire.
Ouch.
Didn't hurt much. My mother has to make food extra spicy so I can taste it.
I guess that's the trade-off for being a fire breather.
It's fine. I smell stuff better than most people.
An Antom supply cache. Too bad it's locked
Ci
up.
pensa lei
Not for
adesso.
long. Watch. I'm on.
Abbiamo un mezzo drago con noi. Fantastico.
Wow. It burned right through it.
Yep. Melt some metals, not all.
How'd you figure out which kinds of metals you could melt?
My mother said I went through a lot of spoons as a baby. This way.
More birds to feed?
Something like that.
No, voleva qualcuno solo per parlare, effettivamente. Non c'era niente di cui
It's
aveva
Taash.
paura.
I brought food.
Avatash, it's good you came early. The feather clouds are getting lower. It's going to rain. Who is this with you?
This is Rook. He's a friend.
A friend. All right. Make sure you both dress for rain. Drip rain, not mist rain.
Pioggia goccia?
What's the difference between drip rain and mist rain?
Drip rain soaks through the clothes. Mist rain just wets the skin. Sorry, I don't know all the words in your language.
Ok, pioggia
I
e
get it.
umidità.
Karash was a worker caste navigator. Got dragged along with the Antom when they invaded.
They told us it was ordered by the Qun. I was not taught war. I was taught the weather. Red clouds for thunder, gray clouds for rain, green clouds for the devouring storm, and black clouds for the Antom cannons. After what they did in Ventus, I ran away.
Una cosa bella di questi nuovi cunari, l'unica, è la differenziazione e la presenza di cunari anche non super mega muscolosi.
Is there anything you need? We saw that the Antom were in the area.
Yes, I knew some of them from the Dreadnought where I worked. I know places to hide. They did not see me.
Let me know if they give you trouble.
I am at peace, Avatash. I have the clouds to watch and fish to eat.
More than just fish. Here you go. Shathan said to eat the fruit before it spoils.
I like the cookies better.
Everyone likes the cookies better.
I'll eat the fruit. Thank you, Avatash.
Panahedan. I'll see you soon.
So, the Dragon Hunter has a softer side.
The Qun says you take care of people.
So, you're a little Kunari, a little Riveni, and a little dragon?
Yeah?
Elenca le sfide del vivere in modi diversi, elenca i vantaggi del vivere in modi diversi.
I get that.
Come on. I should tell my mother how Karash is doing.
Sì, cioè ci sta, effettivamente conosce di più.
So how do you get it?
I had to leave most of my old life behind when I joined the Shadow Dragons. And now I'm fighting elven gods. So you take what works from each part, right?
Non ci vede niente di male nell'essere più cose, nel
I had to
conoscere
take
più
Kunari
cose.
language classes growing up. I had to learn how to tie these stupid knots. It wasn't so bad when the Kunari and Ravain were at peace. Now the Antom have broken from the Qun and started attacking. People look at me like they're scared I'll switch sides.
That's their loss. People who have only ever been one thing will never know how big the world is.
Yeah? Maybe. Mother, what are you doing here?
You used to call me Tama.
I also used to wet the bed. Want me to start that up again?
I'd rather you didn't.
Ma come? Ma che faccia ha? Posso spiegare in dettaglio?
Because she's sleeping in my base, which means I own the bed. I'm actually next on laundry detail.
She always did like the mouthy ones. In truth, Evitash's tastes are quite varied, although it is uncommon for her to be attracted to men.
Mother.
Perhaps because in some ways, she acts more like a man herself.
Why are you here?
I came to ask Karash about the tablet your group
Qual
recovered.
problema?
I wondered if some of the symbols might be used among the Antam.
Be gentle. Don't make him talk about the war.
I see the wisdom of your suggestion. I also see that you used your fire again. Chakra Toebra.
Chakra Toebra.
Remember to keep your consonants crisp. Kunari do not slouch, and neither does our language. Panahedan, Evitash. You did well bringing Karash his food.
Sorry. She's like that.
So it's uncommon for you to be interested in men, but not unheard of?
Well, thanks for coming. We should get back.
Thanks for having me along. Maybe we can do this again.
Right? Yep.
Ok, un altro livello. Sblocchiamo la specializzazione evocatore. Addestrati nelle strade di Minratus, gli evocatori dei draghi ombra usano gelo e ghiaccio per controllare il campo di battaglia e sferrano potenti attacchi magici per abbattere i nemici. È il momento di andare a trovare Emric alle sale della necropoli adesso. Sale della necropoli. La squadra entra nella misteriosa grande necropoli per reclutare l'esperto dell'oblio Emric Volkarin, ma dovrà fare i conti con i piani di alcuni maghi malvagi. La grande necropoli.
This is it. But no sign of the professor.
I hope he's here and that he doesn't mind us disturbing him. He is a senior necromancer. I don't... Oh!
Cosa vuoi? Ah, ok.
Visitors! What a marvelous surprise! Any trouble with the lift? Our last guests were stuck for hours. Poor souls. Oh. Professor Emric Volkarin of the Morn Watch.
Hello, Professor. We've never met, well, in person, but I've been writing to you.
Belara, my dear girl. What a pleasure. Surely you didn't come all this way just to see me.
Actually, we did. You see, we need a Fade expert.
I'm Rook.
Charmed.
I like that bit with the flaming skull.
It's nothing, really. Just an evocation of the flame of the last steps.
Looks great.
Thank you. You know, I'm never quite sure how these spells strike someone from outside Navarra. I'd be pleased to continue our conversation after I tend to some small business here. I must investigate. Would you two mind accompanying me further into the shrouded halls?
Toward that screaming?
Something's gone awry in this part of the necropolis, Rook. The dead stir more easily than they should.
Si agitano più del dovuto.
Something weird up ahead.
Strange. These halls should be under the protection of the bells.
Is that a despair demon?
Fascinating, isn't it? They shouldn't be able to breach the shrouded halls at all.
Del sudario. Ogni parte del mondo ovviamente sta andando in disastro.
Where'd everyone go?
Esatto. Sono da solo. Mi è già capitato di affrontare una missione secondaria queste. Effettivamente scompaiono tutti. Devono della disperazione, vuole farmi disperare. Vuole farmi disperare lasciandomi da solo senza utilizzare le capacità dei compagni. Tranquillo, non le uso quasi mai tanto. Perfetto.
It's vital we discover why that spirit manifested here.
Lead the way, Professor.
Wow.
Someone's barred the door and chained the sunken star.
There's
La
a
stella sommersa.
We may need to defend ourselves depending on their condition.
Eh sì, dobbiamo difenderci, sono tutti impazziti.
There's no reaching these. They're mindless.
What does that mean?
I'm afraid sometimes the weaker dead work themselves into frenzies. Poor things. I must free that bell.
Need some help?
Thank you. The star, the bell, can banish these despair spirits if we unchain it.
D'accordo,
We'll
facciamo
need
noi.
a wisp to unseal the doors leading out. Could you please find one and bring it here?
Ah, ho
Ok.
capito. Ecco fatto. Comunque questo qui è... Questo personaggio è il tipico
Doors open. Where to
professore...
now?
This should lead us to the upper chambers, where we can free the bell. There's someone I'd like to consult with on the way.
Un po' gentile, elegante, no, non raffinato.
This magic, it drains everything around it.
Ciò che circonda.
Echoes of the despair spirits, misery devouring itself. We should keep our distance. If provoked, these manifestations will shatter.
T'ho provato, non dovevo farlo, vero? Non dovevo farlo, va bene. Volevo vedere come andava. Vabbè dai, Max ha messo piede per sbaglio. Cioè, incuriosito, si è avvicinato un po' troppo.
Knew you could do it, Rook.
Non c'è bisogno di affrontarle. Eccoci qua.
This is locked too, and I didn't see any wisps around.
Then I shall call for aid.
Can't do this without a wisp. Can't.
They've answered. We'll need to guide the wisps who've just arrived to the
Ha
door.
chiamato di fuochi fatui. Ah, ok, andiamo a prenderli allora. Fiero.
Those wisps really came just because you asked.
They care for us, Rook. Our ever loyal friends amongst the dead.
Ecco fatto.
Well done. Past these chambers, we'll find some assistance with reaching the bell. Despair is far more pervasive than I'd thought. We must stop who's ever drawing these spirits here.
Vicino alla morte.
all the despair
Disperazione.
Oh yes. Mortals are their prime attraction.
Ovviamente. Mago della morte gelida.
Ranged incoming.
Oh, perfetto, bene.
I mean, Emmerich.
Un altro mega salone incredibile, con una torre che sembra quella di Kirkwall. Grandissima, una prigione. Vabbè, comunque è fatto molto bene. Stupendo in realtà.
This should unseal our final pass to the bell. It's best we unchain it quickly.
What's it do exactly?
The sunken star will drive away despair. Any malicious spirit that hears the tolling of the bell will be banished to the Fade.
Oh, that'd be helpful in Arlethan, but I bet it only works here, doesn't it?
Quite correct. The bell would be inert outside the necropolis.
Still, I bet the principles could be replicated.
Excellent. Approach the body and we'll begin. By seal and flame. Who brought despair in our midst? Despair! Who brought it here?
Venatori, quindi gli dei indirettamente.
The Venatori. Of course. This way, please.
What did you just do?
The colloquial term is corpse whispering, a gift that manifested with my magic.
Oh, wow. That's amazing.
Honestly, I've no idea how the other Watchers navigate the necropolis without it.
Shh, I think I hear someone.
This map is useless. We wasted 3 slaves
Venatori.
in those traps. If
Palese.
that hand of glory burns down,
so don't dawdle.
Eccovi.
Found those Venatori.
They have no place in these halls.
Bene. Perfetto.
What are the Venatori after? Gold? Artifacts?
Raw magic. Their first envoys were obsessed with gathering power for some new masters.
I'll fill you in on them later.
New Masters. Abbiamo un po' di cose da raccontarti, sì.
The sunken star can help us if we break the Venatori's chains.
Right.
Right. Della serie semplice, no? Distrutta.
There's one chain.
Excellent.
guests!
Kill them all, but save the limbs!
Got it.
Oh, nicely done, Rose. Good work, everyone.
That's the last chain.
We must return to
Tutte
the
distrutte.
level to ring the bell.
Bam.
Be ready. The ritual to wake the bell will draw Despair's attention.
Sì, tanto ne abbiamo già affrontati 4-5,
I'll need you to keep them
ormai
occupied while I work.
sono pronto. le campane da chiesa.
More blood for the gods.
Da cimitero. Vai, distruggiamo tutti.
How are we doing, Emmerich?
The bell is slowly awakening, but we must fight it.
The Venatori brought demons.
Typical of them.
Sono degli spiriti che stanno aiutando. No. Bam. Demone dell'ira? Da quando è che non lo vedevo? Eccolo, fierissimo. Bello il demone dell'ira. Era da un bel po' che non si vedeva. Sarà debole al gelo, no?
Impressive.
Thank you. But come, let's ensure these cultists didn't leave anything.
È stato bello questo combattimento. Demone dell'ira che a volte si vede. Molto figo.
And this is a severed hand.
It can't be.
Una mano mozzata.
A hand of glory? The Venatori should never have this. I must find out where it came from.
La mano di uno spirito della gloria? Perché esistono spiriti della gloria? Bene. Perché non dovrebbero esistere? Esistono spiriti di ogni tipo, praticamente.
Nice, Valora.
Let me know when you'd like to return to the chambers above.
Andiamo.
Let's get back to the lighthouse.
You can tell me why you've sought out a Fade expert on the way?
I know it's a lot, but I swear we've seen the blighted elven gods ourselves.
It would explain recent Oniric disruptions.
At the least, the implications of what Rook's witnessed are... Ah, thank you, Manfred.
Lo scheletro che porta il tè.
Hi, and, thanks?
You spoke of danger to the Fade.
The elven gods plan to tear it wide open to get to the blight, and they've already messed with it. Demons, tears in reality. Our team needs a Fade expert.
Many watchers never depart Navara. But with events so dire...
I'd be delighted to assist.
It has been many years since you left us.
Ma chi è questo?
Yes, but elven gods, ancient magics. I couldn't bear miss this. Besides, I've spent my life exploring the Fade and speaking to spirits. If Rook needs an expert, none are better qualified than I.
Occhio alla negromanzia.
Only if your assistant's coming.
Manfred? But of course.
Welcome aboard.
Wonderful. I'll gather my things. Come, Manfred.
Uno scheletro assistente.
The grand necropolis was at peace again, and Emmerich was off to a new adventure. But in Navarra, nothing stays down for long. The Venatori had unearthed something no one should have, and delivered it to the worst possible person.
Una mano della gloria.
Emmerich's journey would soon bring him face to face with the gloaming lantern.
Una lanterna. Ci anticipano sempre robe che però non sappiamo.
What the Venatori ultimately intended with their incursions into the necropolis worries me. Whether or not it was directed by the gods, the timing serves them well. Chaos, I fear, is their ally.
With this, Demeter's Crossing and the Blighted Dragons, and everything else we're all dealing with, feels like we're at war. A lot of little wars.
Ci siamo tutti adesso. Il team è al completo. C'è anche Varricli. I dei si muovono
They want a war? We'll damn well give them one.
You need an army to fight a war, though. They've got two. The Venatori and Antam wasted no time allying themselves with the gods. Power at any cost.
So how do we fight back then?
We don't have an army, but we do have allies. Like the Veil Jumpers.
After Demeter's Crossing, it's personal for them.
The Shadow Dragons. I should have earned my way back into their good graces after we saved Minrathous.
Tarquin won't ever admit it, but he was impressed.
Also, Lady Morrigan requested a meeting at the Cobbled Swan in Minrathous.
Could she have found some trace of the gods?
Probably. Morrigan doesn't visit crowded taverns for fun.
I also heard from Grey Wardens out in the Hossberg wetlands, Antoine and Evka. Something strange is happening with the Blight there. I bet it involves the gods.
Any details on the Blight in the wetlands?
Antoine said he didn't write it down.
Why not?
Either he didn't trust someone else wouldn't read the note, or he didn't want us to panic.
The First Warden didn't seem impressed the last time we met.
I heard he told you to piss up a rope.
Will he be in the wetlands?
I don't keep track, but he can't stop you from asking a few questions, if we're fast enough.
Gillenane has laid low since we hurt her dragon, but the Blight spreads rot wherever the gods go.
And no one's better at tracking Blight than Wardens.
Morrigan and those Wardens feel like our best leads on finding the gods.
Are they really gods? Or just ancient mages? It's not clear.
They're gods. In their power and wrath, at least.
Lucanus, you're back.
I am.
Good to have you back. This is Professor Emmerich Volkaren, our fate expert, and Taash, our dragon hunter. They joined while you were away.
Hey.
Charmed.
Right. Not everyone has met. So, a dragon hunter. Treviso could have used you.
What's happening there?
It's just... people blame you for what happened to Treviso, Rook.
Come mai?
But they did not have to make that choice, knowing what the gods are capable of. There was no recall. Still, it changes things. How could it not?
But you're back with us.
Yes, here to stay.
Ma incolpano me. L'unica cosa che ho fatto è andare io personalmente a Minrathous invece che a Treviso. Ma non è che mi sono stato lì a girarmi i pollici così, no? Fare un cazzo. Sono andato a salvare un'altra città. Incolpano me? Oh, però è colpa tua che non ci ha aiutato. Perché devo salvarvi io? Dove sta scritto che devo salvarvi io? Intanto, perché incolpano me? Ma poi da quando il mondo conosce Rook? Da quando mi conoscono? Da quando sanno che... Cioè io poi sono una persona normalissima. Sono un mago magari, va bene, forte, potente, ma sono comunque una persona come altre. Come mai tutto dipende da me adesso? Cioè, ho salvato un'altra città, potevo aiutare, sì, ma ero da un'altra parte. Vabbè.
Good to have you back. whatever the circumstances. Everyone needs to be a part of this. That's the only way we'll win.
After what they did to Treviso, I want these gods to fall. I don't see anyone else with a better chance than you. My blade's yours, until the end.
Great. Let's follow up on some leads.
I'll let Lady Morrigan know we're ready to meet.
I'll send word to Antoine and Evka. They're holed up in a town called Lavendel.
Everyone else should rest up. Be ready to move when I call.
Never easy, is it, kid?
What do you mean?
Making the big choices, then living with the consequences.
I don't think it ever should be easy. As soon as it gets easy, you're not the right person to make those decisions. It needs to be hard. That's how you know you're taking it seriously.
And that's why I recruited you, Rook. You get that. Not everyone does. Anyway, you've got a meeting with Morrigan to attend, and dealing with whatever the wardens found. All this chatting is taking it out of me. Think I'll rest for a bit. Good work, Rook. You'll find your way through this. I know it.
Peccato che Varric non si veda più spesso.
Carving monsters, huh? Didn't figure you for an artist.
This? It's by necessity. If you know your enemy, their weak spots, maybe you live another day.
Well, when the army of miniature monsters invade, we'll know how to beat them.
Size is nothing. A Rygar can ruin your day with one bite. The poison swells your brain.
That could explain Solas.
Standard bestiaries are always some mage drawing things they've never seen, taking the piss out of it. They don't understand how when the hunt ends and you come nose to nose with an ogre, someone's going to die. So I'm making the real Monster Hunter manual.
Who you doing it for?
Balmor, that imbecile in Teventer, lecturing on things he doesn't know about. And Ludric over in Ravane thinks taking a rock wraith down with a lucky shot makes him a champion.
Yeah, Ludric and his ego.
You ever met Ludric?
Well,
Because he's been dead 300 years, living off the legend of one fluke arrow.
Oh, I just wanted to make you feel better.
My reward is showing these idiots how it's done.
Sounds like a fun read. I'm in.
You have to buy it first.
Where's the Gloomhowler?
Can't carve it till I know what it is. You want a piece of the Howler, boy?
Is he ready?
Was I ready the first time I fought a Hurlock?
Well, you're still alive.
I got my ass handed to me. Broke 4 ribs and cracked my jaw. Then I got back up and drove a blade through its skull. In this line of work, Asan and I are only as strong as the quarry we hunt.
Tanto forti quanto le prede a cui diamo la caccia.
Makes sense. He'll learn to fight by fighting.
I don't know another way. Out there in the world, you sink or swim.
Can a half-lion, half-eagle swim?
Don't know. Asan?
Which half was that?
Search me. Both halves share the same stomach.
Right. See you around.
Sì, ma la battuta sullo stomaco la fa sempre. Però io volevo capire, sa nuotare o no? Vabbè, tanto sa volare. Che gli frega. Secondo me no. Secondo me avrebbe qualche difficoltà a nuotare. Eccolo Emric, nuova stanza.
A third edition of the Unnameable Elements? I didn't even know it had editions.
Oh, it's much improved with the index. Please, borrow it if you'd like.
I'd love to. Oh, Rook, you probably wanted to say hi. Thanks, Professor.
You look moved in.
Just a few essentials. Manfred was a great help with the boxes. What a fascinating place this lighthouse is. What do you make of it?
Inaspettatamente comodo.
It's great. big, mysterious, lots of art. Everyone's got their own room.
It'd be easy to fall in love with such a place.
I think Balara has.
She's been quite welcoming. However, I noticed a few of the others taken aback by Manfred, and I overheard remarks about my skulls. My necromancy won't cause any undue worry, will it?
Comunque sembra uscito da un film della Disney questo. Vabbè, ignoriamo.
We'll be fighting weirder stuff than necromancy.
Ah, that's the hope. Please excuse me. Manfred and I should finish our inventory. Thank you for stopping by.
Super raffinato. Ah, però vuoi riparlare, eh? Ah, allora non è finito,
By the way, Rook, before I left, Myrna and Vorgoth asked if we could assist with an outbreak of hauntings across Thedas. They also mentioned displaced wisps in the necropolis. I'm not sure what's frightened them, but it bears investigation.
Hauntings and scared wisps? Let's look into it.
Thank you. We'll depart for the necropolis whenever you're ready.
Ok, un'altra missione, che si aggiungerà a quella di Taash.
Hey, you heard of the Hall of Valor? It's a fighting arena with the lords.
Interesting.
Just tell me when you're ready.
What? Così boom! Basta, nient'altro? La sala del valore, va bene, ci andiamo.
Welcome to the Hall of Valor. I knew you'd find your way here sooner or later.
Eccola
Your kind
Isabella.
always do.
Ma com'è vestita?
Looking to fight?
Va bene.
All right, get your ass in there and give
Ah,
us a
non c'è
show.
neanche il doppiaggio? Ah, mi sa che solamente così un'arena in cui combattere basta. Ma i seminatori dove sono arrivati? Vabbè, non ha alcun motivo di esistere, cioè non è una parte di storia importante, ecco, non bisogna farti domande. Vittoria Venatori. Ah, ci danno anche più forza per i signori della fortuna. Li stiamo aiutando.
You've certainly earned your reputation.
Ok, continuiamo.
You'll want something with a bit more bite this time, I reckon.
Va bene.
Get going! Don't keep your fans waiting. Come on, place your wagers. And remember, never
Demoni.
anything you aren't prepared to lose.
We're dropping it!
One for us.
And I'm out another 20 gold. Maker, I should stop betting against you.
10 vittorie. Ci è voluto un po', però ce l'ho fatta.
About to get fun.
This'll open the way.
Quello che ha appena sconfitto, che faceva parte di una missione secondaria, ci ha permessi di andare a trovare un ricordo di Solas, credo. Perché è venuto fuori, usa l'essenza del campione, che è quella che abbiamo appena raccolto, sulle radici nella città convergente. Andiamoci. Qua ci sono delle radici che non ho mai potuto aprire. Ora le apriremo. Cancello delle perdute ere. Qua troveremo un altro ricordo?
The Venatori must be after something nearby. Let's get it first.
Venatori.
Time for a fight.
Dice di andare di qua. Però di qua non si passa. C'è una scala lì ma non si apre. Niente, cioè dobbiamo... ci torneremo più avanti. Non so come arrivarci, boh.
I sense a way through, dweller. Find that which seals the path.
Niente. Non mi manca l'essenza del campione
So
giusta.
after crossing paths in the deep roads, you kept in touch with Evka and Antoine?
Niente, dobbiamo sconfiggere altri campioni per poter continuare nella missione di Solas.
Let's go. Gotta move.
Clearing the way, one champion at a time.
One for us. I'm sorry.
Vai,
the tourist got
posiziona.
away.
You win some, you lose some.
Would you like me to get you something? Tea, cake, arrow in his temple, whatever you need.
It's another of those statuettes. The memory fragments.
Just out in the open?
Aha, I knew it.
Bah!
Got us from a distance.
Done. I call that a
Finalmente.
A trap. That statue was a fake. But if the fade is mostly reflections of something else, the real one could be close.
We've got company.
Ah no, la statuetta di lupo è lì. Quindi sto giro non c'è nessun ricordo. Semplicemente prenderemo la statuetta, d'accordo.
Got us in a distance.
Bene. Vai, altra statuetta.
You can tell this statuette is the real thing, a memory fragment, and not just because it was very well guarded.
Riguardando in editing ho notato che qui c'è un lucchetto. Quindi basta fare così ed ecco, abbiamo la strada per l'ultima statua.
We're not alone.
Ecco.
There, that's what the Venatori are after.
Ecco l'ultima statua.
Why were the Venatori after this statuette? Just being near it makes me feel regret.
Ok, continua l'avventura fino all'arrivo di un esperto, quindi poi le statuette torneranno utili più avanti. D'accordo, allora possiamo andare a fare... Morrigan o custodi grigi? Morrigan e custodi grigi vogliono discutere, allora prima andiamo ad esaminare la corruzione. Paludi di Osberg.
Rook, welcome to the Hosberg wetlands. I'd say make yourself comfortable.
This place is...
Foreboding?
Yes. Well, foreboding is normal here, but it's worse than usual.
The Blight's always a problem in the Anderfells. It's not strange to find a corrupted patch of forest or swamp.
What is strange is the sudden surge of blight through the Hosberg wetlands. Much like the village you found, the blight here struck too quickly, and in strange forms.
It's choked the whole area, and the local village, Lavendel, was caught in it. But they're survivors. We can be grateful for that.
If the blight keeps spreading, we could lose everything.
You said what came next would be bad. That's why we're here. To help. As far as we can tell, the gods you're chasing weren't here directly.
If the blight's really changed, then the changes are widespread. As for how much?
I can almost sense something in there. Another sound under the blight's usual song.
Stories say wardens sense blight. I never thought it was literal.
It happens when you join the Order. But that's more than I should say.
When we met, you tried to block the sound out. Now you hear too much.
If it helps, that's what we're here for.
Il pericolo ormai è la norma.
Okay, this all sounds awful. And we're standing in the middle of it, which is normal for me.
For us too.
So, what's the plan?
We heard rumors of the surge here and volunteered to investigate. The first warden expects a report. Soon.
If we want proof the blight's changed, then this place is where to find it.
But the way the blight left the village, we've had our hands full just keeping it back and helping the sick.
You need more to study.
Yes. The odd growths the blight has formed, like boils, they surround Lavendel. I need more samples.
Ok, gli servono dei campioni. Studiate la corruzione?
So you two study the blight?
Formally? No. Well, maybe. It depends on your definition.
We travel a lot, and tend to get sidetracked by weird problems.
Who knew I'd roam so far from Orlais? If we want to help, we need to learn what we're dealing with.
Effettivamente la sento dell'Orlais.
Samples. That's gonna be... gross? That's probably the best word for it.
I'll give you something to contain the blight. And watch for Darkspawn out there.
Right. Darkspawn. Can't forget them.
Good luck.
Distruggi le bolle corrotte. Andiamo.
Alright, let's find those boil samples. Looks like there's caves on the far side of the village. We can start there. Lavendel Village. Whatever happened here looks like Demeda's Crossing.
Molto meno
Still
corrotto però.
standing. And I'll fight to keep it that way.
Often a place needs someone in its corner. This one needs more than a few.
There.
Ecco le bolle.
That's our blight boil.
Indaga.
Got a
Prendiamo un
sample.
campione.
I'm guessing they'll need more than one.
Knowing how Antoine experiments. Yes.
Check out the ballista. Could be useful.
You just want to shoot stuff.
An ogre.
I think it sensed us attacking the boils. It's not happening.
We need to stop it.
Got you covered.
Hassan!
It's down.
L'ultimo campione.
And another sample.
I think we've got enough.
Yeah, let's get back to Evka and Antoine.
Antoine? Antoine!
Yes? Yes, the blight samples. They're like nothing we've seen, or anything in the Warden records. And I almost hear voices in it. The gods calling the blight.
I can't hear anything. But if you believe me...
We knew things were bad. But if the blight's being called, the situation's more unpredictable than we thought. We need to...
I give you two reign, and this is where it leads. Chasing Rook's lies.
Non è che sta dalla parte
Stay
delle...
away from the Blight and the Wardens. How many times must you be told?
Sarà dalla parte delle divinità sicuro, palese, perché può chiamarla proloscura. I custodi grigi hanno la corruzione dentro di loro, questo qua non vuole saperne, super testardo, potrebbe essere dalla parte delle divinità, magari le ha sentite dalla loro parte. Non mi fate paura.
Do you think titles and bluster scare me?
And your venom is better directed toward your magisters.
Rook knew something was wrong.
I can hear it in the samples. The gods. He's telling the truth. The Blight has changed, and that changes everything.
It changes nothing. Your sensitivity to Blight is useful, Warden Antoine. But you've had more than one snake in your ear.
Quella di Rook, ma vai a cagare.
He's trying to help.
Enough. You tampered with a ritual that unleashed Blight. You did not know what you were doing then, and you don't now.
If gods control the Blight, we need to change how we approach it.
Archdemons control Blight, and we'd sense if one had risen. We'd make the sacrifices needed to fight it.
But we...
The Blight has increased. Now is not the time to lose focus. Wardens Evka and Antoine, are you sworn to combat the Blight?
Yes, but...
Then report back to Weishaupt and do so.
That went poorly, even for a talk with him.
È uno stronzo.
What an asshole. A lot of people are gonna die for his arrogance.
Maybe.
So much for convincing the Wardens.
We can't give you the order, but you have us.
We'll keep tracking the Darkspawn and the Blight. We'll do what we can.
And if we learn the gods' plans, you will too.
The elven god of monsters had been hard at work. She'd taken the Darkspawn and made them so much worse. Now, she and Elgar'nan had their glorious new army. The risen gods were ready. And they had just the target.
Ok, anche se sono stati chiamati, hanno comunque intenzione di continuare a indagare. Bene.
He finally agrees to meet for a report, then he all but calls you a liar.
I think you were included in that.
Thanks.
And now a dragon.
Why did Morrigan want to meet in Minrathous? Isn't she helping the Veil Jumpers in Arlathan?
Indeed. But today we have a guest, and she needed the anonymity that only
Oddio.
a city provides.
Well, look who it is.
Good to see you, Lace.
Rook, you remember how Varric and I served the Inquisition? Well, this is Inquisitor Trevelyan, the woman who led us all.
È il momento! L'avevo capito appena ha detto abbiamo un ospite a cui serve l'anonimato. Assurdo! Mark che parla con Verloi. Ok, questa è una delle scene più importanti di tutta la serie. Allora. Trevelyan è un cognome nobile.
Trevelyan. Isn't that the name of a noble family down in the south?
Yes. I remember the days before the Inquisition, when Trevelyan family politics were the most complicated part of my life. Simpler times.
I fear that simpler times are like to remain a memory, for now.
Morrigan and Harding have told me about what you've accomplished since taking over for Varric. You've put together an impressive team, and you've got the best chance, maybe the only chance, to stop Elgar'nan and Gillenane.
È tutta colpa tua. Ma come è tutta colpa tua? Comunque bellissimo, cioè si vede che sono riuscito a realizzarlo in modo che si veda che è passato del tempo. Qui Mark sarà sincero. Non è sicuro.
We've been doing what we can, but I'll be honest. Right now, it feels like we're in over our heads.
You've already faced setbacks. You'll face more. Your actions will have consequences.
Have you seen the Blight all over Treviso? We know all about consequences.
Such thinking is a trap you can ill afford. Treviso was blighted because of Elganon and Gillenane, but Minrathous was saved because of you.
I wasn't ready to become the Inquisitor. I wasn't ready to have to choose between helping Templars or mages, or decide the fate of every Grey Warden in southern Thedas. Eventually, when the choices I made caught up with me, I disbanded the Inquisition rather than let it turn into another problem. Maybe someday you'll face the same situation. But I'm asking you not to worry about that future until we have one. Right now, we need you to stop the gods.
All right, I'll do my best.
And while you do so, Rook, the Inquisitor will do her best to ensure that the rest of the world remains intact. A daunting prospect, given that most of the South is under siege by Darkspawn.
It's that bad?
If not for the Inquisitor, the South would have collapsed completely. She has not been idle while you assembled your team.
Non è rimasta con le mani in mano mentre tu riunivi la squadra? Interessante. Quindi sta lavorando anche lei.
I thought the gods were mostly active up here. It's really that bad in the south?
Elganon and Gillenane have indeed restricted their activities to the north. But the forces they deployed to the south, the strange new Darkspawn, have spread fear and corruption greater than any blight in history.
Darkspawn have cut through the center of Orlais. Valrorio and Halam Shiral are barely holding out. Ferelden would have fallen already, if not for help from Orzammar. With Denerim lost, the Fereldans are holding the line at Redcliffe. The Free Marches have the worst of it. Acting Viscount Aveline Valen led the evacuation of Kirkwall. She's taking her people and what's left of her army to help Prince Vale keep Starkhaven.
Maker, we didn't know. My ma...
Don't worry. I called in a favor with the Divine. Your mother's safe with some old friends.
Thank you.
The Inquisition might be gone, but my name still carries some weight. I've used it to get people working together where they can. Again, the South is my problem, not yours, Rook. You stop the gods, and I'll make sure the rest of Thedas doesn't fall to the Blight.
Come fai a essere qui?
If the South is in such turmoil, why come up here just to talk? And how did you get here so fast?
Did you think you were the only one to unlock the secrets of the Illuvians?
Morrigan helped the Inquisition use the Illuvians to travel.
While I lack the Dreadwolf's Viravus, I may still scurry between the walls of this world to be where I might do the most good. The Inquisitor asked to meet you, and I thought it might help you to meet her.
I have a team, but not much in the way of forces. If there's any military support you can spare.
I'm sorry. Our forces in the South are stretched thin already. And I'm afraid the Grey Warden leadership doesn't think much more highly of me than they do of you.
The Inquisitor did not come all this way to leave you with empty words, however. She brought something no one else could.
A wolf statuette. We've found others like it in the crossroads. Where'd you find yours?
I found it right around the time Solas's ritual failed, when he was pulled into the Fade. We've examined the magic, and it's tied to the Veil. To him. Somehow.
Solas is ancient, and his magic is part of him in a way far beyond that of mortals. I suggest you take it to the crossroads and see if something in the lighthouse calls to it. Perhaps it will yield some insight into your new ally.
Right now, Solas is giving us the information we need to track down the gods.
Yes, he is a vital source of information and advice, just as he was to the Inquisition before. He is the Dreadwolf. He led a rebellion that lasted centuries. How many alliances do you think he has made and broken?
I considered Solas a friend. I'd hoped to convince him to see reason. It's too late for that now. But still, if this can give you some insight, help you understand him, whatever it turns out to be, I hope that it helps.
We should go, Inquisitor. The armies in the south need you.
Right. Harding, stay sharp. You're my eyes in the north.
Always, Inquisitor.
Rook, good luck. If I come across anything else that can help, you'll be the first to know.
Thank you. We should take a break, head back to the lighthouse for a bit.
Bello, anche se non mi ha convinto appieno perché, non so, è apparsa, ok, in modo inaspettato, ci ha parlato un po', ci ha dato qualche informazione, poi è sparita così subito. Non è apparso in un contesto un po' interessante. Non so, la situazione, il contesto, boh, non erano molto interessanti. È apparsa così, senza hype, e se n'è andata senza hype. Così è arrivata, se n'è andata come se, boh, come se non fosse così importante, no? Come se fosse messa giusto per essere messa. Ecco, non mi è piaciuto quello. Per ora, cioè, non è che non mi ha convinto il personaggio come apparso, non mi ha convinto la situazione in generale, ecco, tutto lì. Non come se fosse stata scritta male, ma come se non fosse stata, come se non fosse stato sfruttato il suo potenziale, tutto lì. Andiamo al faro.
Rook, just got word. First Warden's calling everyone back to Weishaupt. Everyone except me, seems like. Guess the First Warden didn't like me joining your team.
Calling Wardens back from all over Thedas is a big step. Did he give any reason why?
Not exactly, but I've heard rumors of a massive Darkspawn horde on the move. Even hearing there's an archdemon with them.
Sentono gli dei.
The timing can't be a coincidence. The gods must be behind this.
I bet they are. Rook, if the gods have an archdemon, Warden lore says archdemons only show up during a blight. Doesn't say anything about elven gods. Seems like the rules have changed, and we're going in blind. We need to know what we're up against.
I'll talk to Solas. See if he knows anything about any of this. Make sure the others are ready to move.
Vogliono parlare tutti, eh?
Any luck tracking down your mystery friend?
The Shaper didn't like me asking about Shaper Valta. Or harassing people with talk of dwarven magic.
Wish we had time to head down there and show them what you can do.
I don't think that would have helped.
Ah, but think how satisfying it would be.
Yeah. What's satisfying about being thrown in a Deep Roads prison? Orzammar takes its heritage very seriously.
So what now?
I was thinking, the voice said look to those closest to the stone. What if she never meant Orzammar?
Huh?
There is another great tide, the original capital of the dwarves, Kalsharak. It was lost during the First Blight, and its people survived in isolation for hundreds of years. They re-emerged, some 20 years ago?
And you think they're closer to the stone?
Orzammar can't help. What have I got to lose?
Are you sure Orzammar isn't hiding something?
Pressing them for information would be tricky. I could anger someone important. If Kalsharak doesn't turn out, I can go back to poking at Orzammar. But not before then.
I'm curious about Kalsharak's isolation.
The dwarves took heavy losses during the First Blight. To stop the Darkspawn from overrunning them, they closed off passages in the Deep Roads. Those that could retreated to Orzammar. Kalsharak was lost. They abandoned the city and its people, sealed them away with the Darkspawn.
There must have been another way. What they did was monstrous.
Can you imagine being trapped, knowing death was coming?
Ugh, but they didn't die. The rumors...
That the dwarves of Kalsharak had to change to survive? No one's really sure what that means exactly.
When we find them, you can ask. How do we get in touch with these Kalsharak dwarves?
Already working on it. You don't spend 10 years in the Inquisition without making contacts. I should have a meeting set up by the time we're ready to leave.
D'accordo, quindi entreremo in contatto con questi nani di Kalsharak, sarà interessante vedere come sono cambiati. Io però prima di fare qualsiasi missione secondaria direi di fare quella principale perché sarà urgenza. Quindi non andiamo a fare nient'altro prima di far quella.
I cannot say.
Who created you?
I cannot
riuscito a
say.
ripararlo.
What can you say?
I cannot say.
Right. Deserve that.
Got the archive spirit working, I see.
Rook, you're here. And I did. Sort of. A little bit. It appears, but it won't tell me anything.
You simply ask the wrong questions. A common affliction of the weak-minded.
Weak-minded?
Also that. It's kind of mean.
Just insult it right back. Assuming you know how to insult a spirit.
I've never thought about it. How would you do that? Emmerich might know. That is an idea. Syrian learned a lot, taught me a lot about these archives. They have, well, not thoughts like us, but sort of pathways, I guess. They can only respond to specific questions worded in specific ways. So, if you're powerful, like almost God-level powerful, how would you talk to someone you see as lesser?
Given our examples, I'd be kind of a demanding jerk.
Right! So, let's try that. Archive, tell me who built you.
One of the greatest of Elvenan.
Vabbè.
A steward of her glory. Truly, I was blessed to bathe in his warmth. Anaris built me, and to him I shall someday return.
You mean the Forgotten One?
I cannot say.
Good point. It came later.
Chi è Anaris?
Did that name mean something to you?
He's a Forgotten One. Got told they were the bad gods, we couldn't speak their names. Not like the good gods, you know, Elgernon, Gillenane. But now we know the truth about the Evanurus. So we don't know for sure what the Forgotten Ones were, I mean. They used to say Solas was one, so best case scenario like him. Worst case, well, you heard it talk.
Right. So this thing's dangerous if it belonged to one of them.
Could be, but still important and invaluable. Everything Anaris knew, this thing knows, and my people deserve to know. If I can get it to tell me.
Chiedi degli Evanuris.
Archive. Tell me about the Evanurus.
A group of cowards, hiding behind their more powerful magic and superior numbers. Their jealousy of Anaris was palpable. Their war is unending. But Anaris will prevail.
È di parte influenzato dal giudizio di chi l'ha creato, ok.
Archive. Tell me about the Dreadwolf.
An ideologue and a fool who will soon pay the price. When Anaris dispatches the Evanuris, he will spare a thought for
È rimasto
Fenrir.
indietro nel tempo lui, va bene.
Have fun with the condescending spirit.
I'll try. Could be worse, I guess.
Worse, like the wound of betrayal Lord Anaris suffered. Soon he will cast down the oppressors and take his rightful place.
What a shame I can't stay longer. Good luck.
Appreciate the support.
Why do you run around in fancy mage clothes?
Because I like them?
You're barely even wearing a shirt.
You fight Anton with a bare midriff.
Everything all right?
We're fine. Just trading fashion tips. So what I wear is a problem for you?
It's not. It's just... Why dress like that? Are you trying to make your mother happy?
I don't know what your problem is here, Taash, but you're out of line.
Relax, Rook. I'm a big girl. Taash, you mentioned me trying to make my mother happy. What's that have to do with how I dress?
It's just something my mother said the other day. That I act more like a man than a woman.
And you feel like you should wear dresses to make her happy?
No. Can you imagine me in a dress? I'd look stupider than I'd look stupid.
This isn't about the dress, is it?
No, it's... I don't know. She always says stuff like that. About how I dress, how I act.
And?
It feels... right. When she says I act more like a man. It feels... right. Why does it feel right?
Taash, do you like being a woman?
Nobody likes being a woman.
Ah.
This is stupid. Forget I said anything.
Ah, sta roba. Vabbè, non rientri in nessuno dei canoni della società. Ma sei comunque una donna, perché è la figa. Vabbè, non c'è bisogno di fare una questione incredibile. Sono uomo, sono donna, non sono nessuno dei due. No, sei una donna, però con un carattere, una personalità diversa dagli altri, che è una cosa normalissima. Vabbè, quindi che cosa mi rispondo?
If you don't want to talk about it anymore, we won't. But whatever this team is here for you.
I still don't know what this is.
Some of my friends in Minrathous talk about not feeling comfortable in their own skin. As a man, as a woman. I could see if they'd like to talk. Maybe what they say fits how you're feeling.
Yeah. Okay. And thanks. You do look really pretty.
Oh?
To look at, I'd smudge your makeup.
Thanks for letting me down gently.
Lucanis, passiamo ad altro.
Well, it's all as you left it?
Close enough. I think the caretaker's been tidying up. Rook, now's not the best time to chat. Let's talk later.
Later then.
Ah! There's no time to chat. Allora perché mi davi l'icona? Oh, che cosa vuoi? Vabbè, andiamo a parlare con Solas allora. Ah, cavolo, io spero che nelle prossime scene con Verloi si veda il potenziale del personaggio che è l'inquisitore. Cioè, spero che si veda meglio la profondità del personaggio, non solo parlando di quello che ha fatto, ma facendo anche. Facendo cose nuove, facendo vedere chi è in cose nuove, proseguendo la sua storia, non solo richiamando quello che si è fatto in passato.
I'm sorry, but I find it completely unnatural.
I don't get why you think cremation's so bad. Everyone outside Navarra burns their dead.
All those lost vessels. Fine mansions reduced to ash. Manfred, for instance. How would his wisp have fared if I hadn't given it a body?
Sarebbe rimasto nell'oblio, chi se ne frega.
Where or who'd you get his body from?
There was no single donor. The arms were recovered from a charnel pit. The ribs were a gift from a dear friend. And Manfred's wisp picked out his own skull from some donations. That was quite the day. He's been fine company during my Necropolis excursions ever since.
What does Manfred understand exactly?
Simple things, but he grows. Spirits of curiosity are voracious learners. The more he experiences, the more sophisticated his conclusions. With guidance, of course.
Yep, same to you.
It's just Manfred's way of saying hello. I encountered him as a wisp in the Necropolis years ago. A simple spirit, but so curious. He refused to leave my side.
So, you built a skeleton for the spirit to live in?
Spirits are formed from the emotions and desires of people in the mortal realm. Manfred's wisp came from curiosity. It's these spirits which animate the dead. Their drive revives the corpse, yet the corpse colors their actions. Thus, the eternal question, are undead inhuman spirits puppeting a body, or does some shade of the departed return?
Beh, un'energia che deriva dall'influenza dell'anima che c'era prima.
I can't answer that, can you?
I've come to believe there is a return. I swear I could see it sometimes, Rook. A glint of recognition of something more in the dead.
Hey, that's my sleeve. Are you trying to steal my buttons?
As well as a certain mischievousness. Manfred.
Vabbè, ho capito. Era curioso di vedere altro, eh. Di vedere cosa c'era sotto. Ok, le statue di lupo.
You cannot do this, Algernon. You swore that we would give up our commands when this horrific war was over.
Our people need our leadership. If you're unwilling, leave.
Our people must rebuild, and we must help unite them.
So, we did not fight for freedom, but to conquer this land and our own.
We fought to win, and now the Evenuris are as gods. I do not answer to Mythal's annoying lapdog.
The people are afraid. They must believe in something.
They need strength.
And wisdom.
They need gods who can protect them.
We are not gods. You will learn that.
Every lapdog hides a wolf inside.
I dimenticati sono gli dei che sono stati scacciati dagli antichi dei che
That was
conosciamo.
strange. They were speaking Elven, but I understood it.
I believe we have experienced a memory in each of our native languages.
Not just any memory. One of the Dread Wolves.
And the mages who declared themselves my gods. Well, mine and Davrin's.
Given what we've seen them do, I was expecting someone to do something epic.
Right? It was so mundane. Nothing grand or cosmic. No setting fire to the sun. It was just talking. Politics. I wish they were monsters. Something grand and terrible. Seeing them like that, they're no better than Tevinter nobles.
But no worse, either. They were people. And people can let you down.
All right. What else can we take from this memory?
Elgranon was hungry for power. Did anything he could to get it, and to hold on to it.
Then Solas, furious at Elganon's installing himself as a despot, started his rebellion.
There's another moving part in this. Mythal. She was keeping the peace.
Mythal and Solas were close. The Inquisition found a temple to Mythal, and there were wolf statues everywhere.
Then she sides with Elgranon over him. A betrayal.
It sounded like Solas was loyal to Mythal. What did Elgranon call him? Mythal's lapdog? And then she grabs power alongside Elgranon instead of standing for her principles. I'd be angry too.
Angry enough to start a rebellion?
That's not how he'd see it. He didn't destroy the world. Elgranon did. Solas did what he considered necessary to stop him.
Solas would try to justify what he did, but he'd also blame himself for what happened.
Perhaps these murals aren't simply memories. They're what Solas wishes to forget.
His regrets. That means they're a way to learn his weak points.
Why are we worried about Solas? He's trapped.
Right. But the Dread Wolf was the god of trickery. He's looking for a way out. Bet on it.
Meanwhile, keep your eyes open in the crossroads. If there's a way to restore the rest of these murals, Solas would have kept it in his hideaway. It'd be nice to get inside his head for a change.
Ho tutte le statuette, adesso scoprirò il resto. Visualizza rimorso. Visualizziamo tutto.
I was not certain you would come.
You were the one who walked away. I never turn my back when my friend needs me.
The Evenuris seek the magic of the Blight.
Impossible. The Blight is safely sealed away forever.
Though I wish I could believe you. I have sensed the breaking of the wards.
I will investigate your claims. If they forget the danger of the Blight, I will endeavor to remind them.
What if, instead, you left the Evenuris and remained with me? Do you not wish for freedom from this struggle?
Be at peace, love. I will stop them.
As you must. The Blight is our mistake.
È il nostro errore, l'hanno creata loro in qualche modo?
Did
Ogni volta si
Mythal
parla
call
tutti,
Solas
fantastico.
love in that memory?
That's what it sounded like.
So they were doing it.
The elven gods were free with their emotions. They felt things deeply. The way they express things, well, it feels romantic to us, but that wasn't really how it was. Back then, I mean.
Nah, they were doing it.
Non direi aggiungo bleh.
As someone who has Solas talking in my dreams, I'm with Balara. I just can't see Solas carrying on a secret affair with Mythal.
Can't because you don't think he would? Or can't because you don't want to think about it while he's in your head?
Yes.
So the Dread Wolf goes to Mythal. They might be fighting, but they have history.
And he warns her about the other gods using the Blight. That's more important than his rebellion. It's like kingdoms coming together when an archdemon rises.
Mythal didn't think it was possible. She said the Blight was sealed away. There's an old legend about it. Davrin, the one with Andrul's armor? Not sure it matters.
We are deep in elven lore already. What's the legend say?
Right. Well, Andrul was the goddess of the hunt. She put on armor, magic armor, made of something called the Void, drove her mad.
I remember this one. The other gods were afraid Andrul would turn on them. She was doing all kinds of horrible things, causing plagues. It does sound like the Blight.
Well, it all ends with Mythal fighting Andrul. After, Mythal turned into a dragon.
She what? Why didn't you start with that?
Anyway, she took Andrul's armor away. Then Andrul's madness left, and peace returned.
Intriguing. So it's possible Andrul stumbled onto the magic of the Blight.
And when Andrul went mad, Mythal took it from her and locked it away.
Until someone started using it again.
The Blight's one of the only things that really scares Solas. He came to Mythal afraid.
And she took it seriously, too.
So Mythal goes off to investigate what Solas says. Then, what? It's too clean.
Seems plenty messy with them doing it.
But this isn't just a memory. It's something Solas wanted to hide. What's the crime? What did we see here that he feels guilty about?
I think I might know. When the Inquisitor was saving the world from the breach, she met Mythal.
What? Like in a dream?
It was complicated. She helped the Inquisition. There was a magic pond and a dragon.
Nice.
The point is, she also said the other elven gods betrayed her, killed her.
Okay, sorry. Point of order. If they killed Mythal, how was she still around to help the Inquisition?
Elven god magic? She'd spent centuries gathering strength and sharing people's bodies, I think.
If it was a truly benign possession, that speaks to her character.
Solas goes to Mythal, the one semi-reasonable elven god, for help, and the other gods kill her for it. I imagine the Dreadwolf's rebellion heated up significantly after that.
Right. And Mythal wasn't there to keep the other gods in check anymore.
Well, it's not just that she died.
What do you mean, Taash?
It's... Ugh. There was stuff he wanted to tell her, but he waited too long, and then she was dead. He never got to make it right. That twists you up.
That's it. There's our crime.
Doesn't really tell us anything we can use, though.
We know more than we did. That's something.
Then I guess we keep our eyes open if we come across more of these memories.
Molto lunghe queste sequenze. Ma ora non è finita. Andiamo... Cioè, le ho trovate tutte e 5, andiamo a fare la prossima. Visualizza rimorso.
You dare to try to cage us, jealous of our growing power.
You will pay the final price for this betrayal.
We warned you not to use the Blight. For this, and for Mythal, I sentence you to sleep in exile ever after. Your own lives will form the veil that keeps the horror you unleashed at bay.
So he locked the gods away and created a veil between this world and the Fade. I mean, they were terrible, no question. But what he did, it didn't just stop them. It destroyed our culture, our world.
It wasn't just to stop them. It was to stop the Blight. We've seen how bad Elgar'nan and Gillenane are. Imagine all 7 corrupted gods running wild.
So he created the Veil just to keep the elven gods locked in their prison?
Yes, to keep them from accessing the Fade. But was the creation of the Veil around the world an accident?
You heard him yelling. That's not the sound of a ritual going right.
What do you think, Rook?
I am a shadow dragon. We've been fighting against power-hungry mages for a while now. Solas was doing the same. It looks like he did the best he could.
Even as he destroyed my people's world? Locked away who we were?
Solas was up against 7 blighted gods. They were gonna destroy that world themselves. And it's clear he wishes he'd done it differently. That's why he's ashamed of this memory.
I had another question, and I'm sorry, maybe this doesn't matter, but Solas trapped the blighted gods in an ancient elven building, right?
That's what it looks like. Maybe a palace? Fancier than what I've seen in Arlethan, at least.
And then, the Magisters were lured into the Fade. They broke in, which let the Blight escape, and turned the Golden City black.
Right, and the Black City hangs in the Fade, a little reminder of their mistakes. What's wrong, Lace?
It's just, the Chant of Light says that the Maker built for them the Golden City, the center of all creation. But if the Golden City was an ancient elven palace, then the Maker didn't build it. The elves did. The Chant of Light is Andraste's visions from the Maker, but it sounds like it's wrong.
You're asking if we just disproved the entire Andrastian faith.
Did we?
Ma se fosse qui un andrastiano direbbe no, non è smontata. Magari tutto quello era comunque un piano del creatore. Il creatore era comunque dietro alla costruzione degli elfi di questo edificio. Con la fantasia si può trovare sempre un motivo. Poi non puoi negare il però era il volere di. Non puoi negarlo, quindi è una teoria, è un'ipotesi che funziona sempre, che non puoi smentire in qualsiasi modo. Mark crede nel creatore?
The Maker was never my faith, Lace. But I'm sorry this is hard for you.
The Chant of Light has seen many iterations over the centuries. This may simply change our understanding of it.
But this was the one I grew up with. My ma still sings the chant. You know?
The Dalish clans are struggling with the same thing. What do we keep? What do we lose?
The elven gods, the Maker. No matter who you light a candle to, you've got some hard questions to ask yourself right now.
Doctrine is not the truth. It is one of many paths to the truth.
I recognize the sentiment, though not the specific quote. Who said that?
My mother.
Ah.
Questions of faith aside, we have some very real gods that still need killing.
Looks like there are 3 more of these murals with the Dreadwolf's old memories. Wonder what else he's hiding.
Non hai mai avuto la mia fede? Vabbè, la dite in questo modo, però secondo me, io immagino Mark che comunque da piccolo ci credeva, poi crescendo ha iniziato a crederci sempre meno e ultimamente diciamo che era molto più sul no che sul sì, però diciamo che comunque la certezza che non esistesse non sapeva nemmeno lui, semplicemente pensava non lo so se possa esistere o no, potrebbe, non lo so. Ora che ha avuto questa notizia è certo, cioè è quasi sicuro, si sente più sicuro che non esista, ma comunque non ha mai riposto fiducia nella sua esistenza, ecco.
Rook, interested in visiting the Memorial Gardens?
What are you up to?
I must tend to some rites in the necropolis. I'd like to show you its more peaceful side.
Ok, lo faremo, però mi sto perdendo, no? Un attimo, devo andare a mettere un altro ricordo.
You have so long observed the world. Why not consider joining it?
But I have no desire to live as humans. I have the Fade. Besides, this talk of taking on a solid form. I think you underestimate the danger. When you took the glowing stone to build your body, did the earth not shake?
Delirium gives us the strength we had when we were of the Fade. We are the best of physical and spirit. I need your wisdom, Solas, to withstand the louder voices who would go too far like Elganon. I need you.
This is madness. You must know that. I will always follow where you go.
Interessanti questi ricordi.
What? This is astounding. The ancient elves were spirits who voluntarily manifested a physical form.
I'd rather go back to talking about the Blight.
Hey, Lucanus. Could Spite turn into an elf?
No.
Sorry, but... what?
This puts all of elven history in a new light, not to mention what we think about spirits.
I mean, some magic works differently for elves. If we came from spirits, that'd explain it.
The knowledge that an entire people were formed from a mass manifestation could change our entire understanding of magic.
If we let it out, is that the right call? Do you want bigoted humans yelling about how elves are demons?
Davrin's got a point. World's not short on small-minded humans.
Nessuno ci crederebbe.
The entire idea is preposterous. Who would even believe us?
It does seem outlandish when taken out of context, I admit.
We have to tell someone, though. Strife and Ireland, at least.
If I told Thea and Viago, they'd think I was sampling Viago's poison collection. No one will believe us.
Okay. We keep this to people we trust who have good reason to know. No shouting it from the rooftops.
Agreed. The Morn Watch has a great deal of experience keeping dangerous secrets.
So, beyond the world-shaking stuff, what else did we learn here? Solas himself was a spirit.
What kind do you think he was?
Well, his name is Elven for pride.
Oh, okay.
There's something else. Not about spirits, or not all about them at least. Solas didn't want to become a person with a physical body.
Right. He only agreed after Mythal begged him.
Then that's his regret. He wishes he'd never taken physical form.
Maybe, but not just that. Solas was scared. They built their bodies out of lyrium, and it made the ground shake.
E hanno ferito I titani.
Lyrium is the blood of the Titans.
The Titans would have felt it as an attack. They defended themselves.
The first memory we saw, with Elgranon seizing power, it happened at the end of a war.
A war between the Titans and the elves.
Lace, I'm so sorry.
It feels like we still don't have the full picture. But I think that's part of what Solas regrets. He didn't see the danger.
Except he did. He was worried. You said it yourself.
He did it for Mythal. Everything that followed, he could have prevented if he just told her no.
Then he's got a war on his conscience. Plus, whatever we find next.
Comunque, Cole è stata la prova di uno spirito che diventa una persona. Cioè, prima non lo era, poi l'ho diventata nella mia storia. E quindi ci sta, mi piace che l'abbiamo provato nell'Inquisition in modo lungimirante. Effettivamente gli spiriti non sono persone, non sono vivi quanto le persone, però entrando nel mondo fisico e facendo esperienza possono evolversi e diventare persone. Così magari hanno fatto gli elfi, magari con l'aiuto di Lyrium e altro.
Have you created what we need?
With this, the proper ritual will sunder every Titan from its spirit. But you must know those severed dreams will certainly be driven mad. A disembodied blight of pain and anger. It is awful what we're doing.
And the only way to end this war.
Quindi i titani una volta erano vivi, però Solas gli ha tolto lo spirito.
Solas made the weapon that killed the Titans. No, not killed. He cut away their dreams and left them broken and mindless. He passed me in the halls of Skyhold for a year. He made polite conversation, and he knew. He knew what he did.
Quindi i titani erano vivi una volta e hanno creato i nani. Solas ha tolto lo spirito ai titani e così hanno perso i sogni anche loro?
I knew Solas was dangerous. We had to stop him from tearing down the veil. But to do this, he made a weapon that destroyed an entire race. How could he even think of doing that?
The Titans were the size of mountains. I doubt the elves were winning their fight. He considered this the cost of saving his people.
Fear and guilt make people do stupid things.
To do such a thing. No wonder regret eats away at Solas.
No, it's worse than that. That isn't what Solas regrets. Those severed dreams will be driven mad. A disembodied blight of pain and anger.
Mierda.
You can't. That's not possible.
When a warden hears the calling, it's like a song in their mind. Sound familiar to you, Lace?
The song of Lyrium. Of the Titans.
We think of the Blight as this monstrous force with no mercy, no compassion. Evil incarnate. Instead, it's a caged animal. Mistreated and imprisoned for centuries. Until all it knows is fear.
Quindi ha creato in un certo senso Pro l'Oscura?
What does this mean for Darkspawn? Should we be trying to help them?
I don't believe so. If the Blight is a corrupted dream, Darkspawn may be mindless manifestations of its anger.
Right. They're not people. We're never going to get through to them.
The Titans are a problem for later. We have Elgernon and Gillenane to deal with now.
And then I want Solas to look me in the eye and answer for what he did.
Each of these memories has been a deeper regret, and almost all of them involve Mythal.
Only one mural left to uncover by my count. If we find it, we'll see what's worse than this.
Adesso lo vedremo. Quindi Solas... Stiamo scoprendo della lore assurda. Quindi Solas... in un certo senso è la causa di Pro l'Oscura. Comunque del canto di Pro l'Oscura. Lo stesso che porti questa grigia a impazzire. Cavolo.
I knew that you would find me soon enough. You need the power of a god. The strength that I alone still carry.
The blighted Evanuris will soon break free from their prison. I must make a stronger one that can contain them.
While the prison is important, it is not the only goal you seek.
Why should I not tear down the veil and bring back immortality to all the elven people? They deserve it.
The elven people of today do not deserve to see the world they love be torn apart to salve your conscience.
I must fix what I have broken. I am sorry.
As am I, old friend.
Flemets. È quello che è venuto alla fine di Inquisition.
Solas killed Mythal? After all that? Is this another memory from a different time?
No. He wore that same outfit in the Inquisition. We knew Solas woke up in this world without most of his power. Now we know how he got it back.
By killing the only other god around and stealing her power.
All that epic magic and godly power. In the end, it comes down to love and murder. Same as always.
Every big mistake Solas made is tied to Mythal. He sacrificed his life as a spirit to join her.
He sacrificed his morals when he created the dagger to stop the Titans.
When the other gods struck her down, he destroyed the Elven Empire to avenge her.
Then he wakes up in this world, where everything's gone but his mistakes. And there she is, alive.
And after all he's done, she sides against him again.
All these mistakes are his fault, and hers too. If she won't help him fix the world, of course he has to kill her.
So, how does everything we know help us now?
He's being honest about fighting the Blight. Whatever happens, he won't risk letting it back out into the world.
Agreed. But he has a plan to escape that prison, and not one we'll like.
He turned on Mythal, The one person he was actually loyal to. There's no way he won't turn on us.
He's a spirit, or was once. He might be able to possess someone, affect minds, all the things spirits do.
He created the veil. His very nature is tied to it. That will be a source of strength, but also a potential weakness.
Mythal has him all messed up. Anything about her or Algernon is gonna make him angry. Sloppy.
Solas thinks he knows what's best for everyone. Anything he does, he'll do while telling himself he's the hero.
The bad news is that the god of lies and trickery is almost definitely preparing to betray us. The good news is that we've gone through his dirty laundry.
So, we know his motivations. You think we can set a trap of our own?
That's the hope.
You have witnessed the Protector's tale, Dweller. Almost to its end.
Quasi?
Almost? How can there be more?
When the mighty fall, their echoes cross the ages. An audience is warranted. Speak with your visitor. She awaits you in the crossroads.
Chi è questa visitatrice? Incontra Morrigan alla crocevia. Ma subito! Ma subito! Morrigan, vai, vai.
Well met, Rook.
How did you get here?
I did tell you I had my ways through Illuvians when I introduced you to the Inquisitor, did I not?
The Illuvians in general, yes, but not the Dreadwolf's crossroads.
I would think you have more pressing questions at the moment. Questions about Solas and Mythal?
Mythal?
The two gods have always been linked, have they not? First, when Mythal bade her companion spirit to abandon the Fade and take on mortal form. Then, when Solas spilled Mythal's mortal blood, that he might absorb her power as his own.
Wait, how do you know exactly what we saw of Solas's past?
Think upon it, Rook. You saw for yourself in the Dreadwolf's memories. When Mythal stood against the gods' manipulations of the Blight, she was betrayed and struck down. Yet she survived and returned ages later to aid the Inquisition in its hour of need. How?
The Elven gods had access to magic beyond anything we can imagine?
To be sure, but it matters less what they possessed than what they were. You recall that the first elves were spirits, do you not? Mythal was a spirit turned elven. And when her body was struck down, to spirit she returned, her essence sheltered in a willing mortal vessel. Over the centuries, she journeyed from host to host, slowly amassing her former power anew. Until once again she was struck down, on this occasion by Solas. He absorbed her power, but not her memories.
Then where did they... Wait. You?
As you say.
Perché da noi si è bagnata nel pozzo, ma anche perché è sua figlia e poteva possedere il suo corpo volontariamente. In questo caso, quindi, essendo morta, solo i suoi ricordi.
You're Mythal? That's why the ambient magic around you is so fractured.
Sei Mythal.
Such a flattering picture you paint of this ancient bond.
Quindi proprio Mythal.
What? That was like how Algernon and Gillenane can talk in your head, but...
'Twas Mythal you heard, her echoes. Yet I am not the goddess returned.
What are you then?
I once feared Mythal would consume me were I to carry her, but 'twas not so. I remain free-willed and mortal. What I now possess is but a spark of Mythal, shadowed memories through which to sift for meaning. As to our admixture, I suspect you have questions.
How can you carry Mythal's soul if you're not an elf?
Her spark has sheltered within both elves and humans who were sympathetic to her in thought and circumstance. Mythal's last host was a woman wronged, trapped by those sworn to love her, we may readily imagine their kinship.
Quindi Flemeth non ha mai vissuto oltre il suo tempo. È Mythal dentro di lei che l'ha fatto. Flemeth ha vissuto una vita come qualunque altra? Oppure sto sbagliando?
So, there's the soul of an elven god inside you. How does that even happen?
Mythal's last host was my mother, Flemeth.
Oh.
When I learned she intended me to become the next receptacle of an ancient god's soul, I feared naught would be left of my own. It inevitably came to pass on a deep night. I was awakened by the presence of a blaze of magic in the shape of a woman who both was and was not my mother.
I don't think I'd recover from that.
Neither did I, at the start. Mythal's memories were both gift and burden, this blazing woman told me, but I must accept them of my own accord. The decision was paralyzing. What would it mean to become such a host? What would be lost if I refused? In the end, 'twas something in my mother's voice which guided me.
What was that?
Regret. Not the regret of a god, but of a mother who knew she would never see me again. And so, my mind remains my own. What I gained was knowledge, both Mythal's and of those who bore her.
Bellissima questa scena, cioè questa sequenza, da quando abbiamo visto il primo ricordo, è bellissima.
You would have met Solas in the Inquisition, right?
I did indeed. 'Twas before I possessed Mythal's memories. At the time, I thought Solas a scowling elven apostate whose sole passion was finding arguments. He heard me, in all my ignorance, expound on the histories of the elven people, explaining legends he had witnessed himself.
Bet he loved that.
'Tis not a memory that brings me pride.
Do you have information we can use against Gillenane or Elgar'nan? Or Solas?
The last time Mythal faced Elgar'nan and Gillenane, she was struck down by the very dagger you now carry.
What about Solas?
You may recall he murdered Mythal's former host to claim her godly might as his own. I hoard no untapped magical secrets, Rook. What I do possess, I share freely with you and the Veil Jumpers.
All right.
Veil Jumpers.
You didn't come out here just to tell me you're Mythal.
I am not Mythal in her entirety, but yes, the Dreadwolf has occasion to visit you in dreams, where he portions out advice. And now, after finding his memories, you have peered into his deepest sorrows. Tell me then, what do you make of Solas?
Commento di Solas?
I should ask you. Mythal knew Solas better than anyone.
I would influence your answer. Or do you mean to discover if I would stand directly against the Dread Wolf, were there a need?
Would you?
I shall aid you in any way, but that, even had I the power. What has passed between Solas and Mythal, I beg you, do not ask this of me again.
Solas talks a lot about what has to be done, being forced to make hard choices. But it's like he's trying to talk himself into it. I think, deep down, he doesn't entirely believe what he's saying.
'Tis exactly like the old wolf to tie himself into the most intricate knots. 'Tis not malice which made Solas your opponent, but conviction, a belief that only he may halt what he set in motion. Yet Solas was once beloved of Mythal. 'Tis his very loyalty and love for his people that led to the tragedy we now face. You may be in a position to determine how it ends, more so than either of you might realize.
Si ricorda di Verloi, dell'inquisitrice, che gli dice che secondo lei non era convinto di quello che stava facendo e che potesse essere convinto a cambiare idea. Ed è questa sua convinzione che l'ha portato ad una linea di pensiero, a pensare se questo era davvero possibile, e con quello che ho scoperto adesso è arrivato a concludere più o meno lo stesso pensiero, ovvero potrebbe essere convinto a non farlo? Come Verloi pensava?
If that's what it takes.
Such determination. Have you not even a tremor of doubt?
Wouldn't do me any good.
If you would shape the outcome of your battle, I've one last secret to share. When Mythal was struck down by the other gods, it was with her own lyrium dagger, the dagger you now carry. Solas recovered it from Elganon, and from it extracted a fragment of Mythal that had lain hidden within its depths. This fragment, a younger sister to the one I carry, if you will, resides here, in the crossroads. I can open the way for you. Find her, survive the encounter, and the essence you obtain will aid you in times to come.
Another fragment of Mythal? In addition to the one inside you?
You are aware of what the word fragment means, are you not? One small piece of many, formed when something greater is broken. The first elves were spirits, as you well know, and when a spirit is broken, it may shatter into pieces, each holding part of the original. Among the ancient elves who became known as gods, Dirthaman and his brother, Falondine, are but one example.
I'll survive. What do I need to know?
You know Solas, and have seen Elganon, and memories of Mythal. They are creatures of emotion, as all spirits are. The fragment of Mythal that resides in me lived among mortals for thousands of years. She has grown wiser and more patient. This younger sister has not. She is the essence of Mythal as a god. She is unlikely to listen to polite requests, and though she is but a fragment of the goddess, the battle will test you sorely.
If she's just going to attack us, why tell us about her at all? We have enough enemies already.
A fragment of a god's essence is a powerful thing. It may give you options against Elganon and Gillenane, or against the Dreadwolf himself, should he prove as cunning and treacherous as ever.
If I were to try to talk with her, do you have any suggestions?
She will demand respect, but detest flattery. She appreciates righteous anger, but will not tolerate pity. She is, for want of better phrasing, prickly. But if you are determined to try, then I wish you luck.
You would know this aspect of Mythal better than anyone. Could you try talking to her?
I dare say she would attack me on sight.
Spirits can't get along with fragments of each other?
Spirits, certainly. But the aspects of a self-righteous god who have walked different paths for ages? One bears the insult of her betrayal by the Evanuris, and then by Solas, as fresh wounds, insult upon injury. The other once fell in love with an Alamari chieftain and lived happily in a swamp for centuries. Each reminds the other that another path existed, that they could have been wrong, and nothing angers Mythal like being wrong.
Bello. Riguarda i tipi di spirito.
What kind of spirit was Mythal before she became an elf? I know Solas is elven for pride.
Mythal enjoyed ruling and having power, but it came not from the overweening desire to crush resistance, as is the case with Elganon. The emotion that inspired her might best be described as benevolence, a guiding hand inclined to kindness. But like any spirit, when angered or twisted against her purpose, a more violent aspect arose. Where the Dreadwolf's wisdom gave way to pride when the world did not meet his standards, Mythal's benevolence gave way to retribution. After all, when kindness fails, the guilty must be punished.
La spirito della saggezza, come l'amico che aveva in Inquisition, perché gli ricordava se stesso, nel suo aspetto meno violento.
Thank you for the information, Morrigan.
I only ask that you reflect upon what I have said. The Dreadwolf is not so apart from the world as he thinks. There, you have the advantage of him.
Tutto questo lo fa riflettere molto su chi è davvero Solas e su quello che occorre davvero fare Forse può essere fermato senza ucciderlo. Trovo il frammento di Mythal nel crocevia. Andiamo. Lo facciamo subito. Sperando che non sia a livello 10.000. Ci sarebbe farlo adesso per continuità. Però spero non sia a livello 10.000.
Sharper than the whole. Prevail. Or be sundered completely.
We're getting close to where Morrigan said that other fragment of Mythal was.
Oddio, si preannuncia una battaglia tosta. Ti prego, Mark, sopravvivi. Quando ha risposto a Morrigan I'll survive, forse...
That has to be her.
How should
Forse è stato un po'
we do
troppo
this, Rook?
sicuro.
Do you think she'll talk to us?
Guess we'll find out.
You are Rook. I have seen you and your companions.
Qual è l'aspetto di Mythal?
We made ourselves bodies to be like humans, but I never expected to see humans scurrying about in the Dread Wolf's crossroads. And you know who I am.
Mythal.
The part of me that survived betrayal by the rest of the Evanuris, if this can be called surviving. Solas. He drew me from the dagger that struck me down, but what is left of me can only survive here. I cannot return to the world, and even the true Fade is denied me. All I can do is watch. Why are you here? To beg me to give up what remains of myself to help you defeat the monsters Elganan and Gillenane have become? Or do you simply think yourself ready to fight a god?
Vorrei il tuo aiuto.
I came here to ask for your help. The gods have endangered the world and...
You dare explain to me what they are doing? You are 1,000 years from knowing the proper words.
We saw Solas's memories, his regrets.
You saw the recollection he cultivated like a tree twisting to catch the sun. You wish for my help? Convince me. Make your case, and I will yield my essence willingly to help you against Elganan and Gillenane. Fail, and I shall kill you for wasting my time, or you will kill me and obtain my essence in doing so. A harder-edged, simpler version.
Non vuole
It has been
ucciderla.
centuries since a petitioner stood before me, so why should I help you?
Cavolo, mi piace, potrei sbagliare. Deve fermare gli dei, ma... anche la loro corruzione. E... loro hanno liberato la corruzione. Loro c'entrano con la creazione della corruzione, no? Si sentivano in colpa per la corruzione. Se lo ricorda, farà leva su quello.
If I don't stop the gods, the whole world will be corrupted by the Blight.
That is why you must succeed, so tell me why I must help you.
We know the truth about the Blight. We know it came from the imprisoned dreams of the Titans after you and Solas defeated them.
And?
La corruzione è colpa tua, ci vuole coraggio a dire una cosa del genere, però... Lo vorrebbe dire, però Morrigan gli ha detto che è permalosa. E dire la corruzione è colpa tua, dimostrare coraggio in quel senso, la farebbe arrabbiare, non otterrebbe ciò che vuole. Cioè, dato quello che gli ha detto Morrigan, non lo farà. Ti sei opposto alla corruzione, tu non volevi la corruzione. Ecco.
Stopping the Blight mattered enough for you to talk with Solas even after he rebelled against you. It mattered enough for you to stand against the other gods.
And I was struck down for doing so, betrayed by those I had ruled beside for centuries.
You made the difficult choice to protect your home because it was the right thing to do. Help me do the same.
Not bad, but not enough. Let us speak of something else.
No, fermare gli dei.
You can't want Elganon and Gillenane to rule the world. Not after what they did to you.
I ruled alongside them for centuries. I bear them no love now, and they were ever flawed, as all rulers are. Yet the world needs rulers. So set the Blight aside and tell me why I should help you topple them.
starebbe per dire accantonare la corruzione. Accantonare la corruzione da sola dovrebbe bastare.
How am I supposed to just set the blight aside?
By making an argument not related to it as I asked you to.
The blight is a core part of who they are. And I don't think you're in favor of it.
If you wish to prove your worth, you must do better than that.
Solas mi sta aiutando.
Solas is helping me.
Solas is using you. Besides, why should I esteem the Dreadwolf's approbation? He rebelled against me.
But the two of you stayed close.
Until he killed the tattered fragment of me who hid inside the human swamp witch and wept. He keeps me here, yet has not visited since waking from his slumber. Tell me this. What should I have done when Solas turned against me after all we had been to one another?
Rispettarlo? O dimenticarlo? Mi dispiace per l'accaduto, non serve a niente, secondo me. Che gli frega del dispiacere di un tipo a caso.
Solas made his choice. You made yours. It might have been cleaner for you to move on from him completely instead of keeping your feelings for him.
Just like that. Do you feel so little that you could follow such a path with someone you had known for centuries?
You asked me what you should have done, not what I would have done.
My patience wears thin. Choose your next words carefully. Why must I give myself over to you?
Cavolo.
I am worthy of your help.
That is for me to judge.
I am fighting to protect this world.
Any petty tyrant can fight those who come to their land and claim to be protecting their people. I have seen rulers, human as you are, the mages of Tevinter, following in the Elven Empire's footsteps. They build nothing that does not serve them. Why should I believe you are any better? What is a protector to you?
It's making a place that's safe for everyone. That means defending against danger. But it also means building a strong community that works together for the common good.
And what have you built?
Look at my team. We're not just hired blades. We started as strangers and grew together into a family.
Your arguments are compelling. I find you worthy, Rook. I have spent thousands of years watching. I shall miss that. But if what I am can protect the innocent and smite the guilty, this is what remains of me. I give it to you freely. Use it to protect this world with kindness when possible and cunning when necessary.
I will. Thank you.
I offer one further boon. I cannot enter the physical world or the pure Fade, but in this place, I still carry some power. Evil has intruded here. The Blight, seeded by Elganon and Gillenane. Find it, and when you meet your greatest challenge, I will fly one last time.
The essence of a god. Like a piece of the sun. I've never felt something so alive.
I don't want to ruin the moment, but what do we do with it?
A god knows her moment. At least, her essence does. When the time comes, we'll be ready.
Bella questa sequenza. Luce di Mythal. Per fortuna non ha dovuto combattere, se no sarebbe stata a livello 10.000, boh. Poi volerò un'ultima volta, sarà stata un drago livello 10.000. Comunque questo dialogo l'ha fatto riflettere molto. Le ha fatto pensare, l'ha messo una pressione addosso che l'ha portata a fare dei pensieri, dei ragionamenti ancora più particolarmente approfonditi e è stato molto importante per la sua crescita, per la sua esperienza, crescita di personalità come persona.
Hey, Harding?
Oh, Rook, hi. Is there something you need?
Balara made snacks. Seems like you could use one. Food always makes me feel better.
I could use some cheering up, actually.
It's Solas's memory, isn't it?
They stole Titan blood to walk the world like humans. And when the Titans didn't like that, they just took their spirits. Should I be angry or sad? Why aren't I angrier? It's a lot to handle.
There's really no right way to feel. You've been through a lot.
You're right. Maybe I just need time. And a snack. It's strange. I don't hate Solas for this, even though a part of me thinks I should. I don't even want revenge. Revenge won't bring the Titans back. It can't erase what happened. And the Inquisitor thinks Solas can be saved. And I want to try. But I just want to talk. As equals. I wonder if he's even capable. Solas was always distant. Guess it's hard to react when a magic rock's talking at you. Anyway, thanks for checking on me. I'll be all right.
I know. You're Lace Harding, child of Titans. You can handle anything.
Oh, shut up.
Vai, medita.
How fares your battle?
The gods are moving against Weishaupt and the Grey Wardens. We've heard rumors the Darkspawn are being led by an archdemon.
And you have questions?
I need to know how archdemons relate to the gods. Are they just like the Blighted Dragons, or are they something else? I also need to know how to deal with the gods if they show up at Weishaupt.
I propose a bargain. I will answer your question if you answer mine.
What?
How are the Grey Wardens? Do they understand the truth of the danger yet?
No. The First Warden still refuses to listen.
As I feared.
I tried diplomacy. I tried being firm. Nothing worked.
When I asked why you should be trusted to lead the fight, you said that nobody else was doing it. That sufficed for me, but you will need more to convince the Grey Wardens. They see themselves as destined to lead this battle. You cannot defeat Elganan and Gillenane without the Wardens. What will you do to bring them to your side?
Parlerò ancora coi custodi, però boh.
All I can really do is keep trying to get through to them.
Have you ever ridden home in a wagon and felt the streets go from paved to dirt beneath the wheels? The horse is slow, and everything grows quiet as you're near home. What do you call that feeling?
I don't really have a word for it.
No, you do not. Elganan destroyed that emotion. He burned it from the mind of every living being. There were spirits of that feeling, just as there are spirits of joy, or fear, or despair. I begged them to fight.
What happened to them?
They waited too long. Without the emotion in this world to focus on, they faded until nothing remained. When you grow quiet, it is a part of your soul reaching for a feeling and finding emptiness. Because I failed.
I understand. I'm not going to fail.
How? What will you do?
Whatever it takes.
Easily said. But it will have to be enough for now. You have answered my question, and I owe you an answer in return.
Yes. The old gods of Tevinter. The archdemons.
There never were Tevinter gods. The archdemons, as you call them, were always merely the weapons of the Evanuris.
Alright, let's hope we can find the gods before they find their weapons.
Unfortunately, the Dragon Thrall's life force is bound to the Evanuris as both power and protection. You will not be able to kill or likely even harm one of the Evanuris until their Dragon Thrall is slain.
The old stories of the Tevinter gods have them whispering in the dreams of ancient magisters. How did they do that if they were just tools of the elven gods?
The archdemons were once high dragons. The Evanuris bound them as a source of power. When I imprisoned the gods, their dragons remained free. That was my mistake.
How so?
I never bound a dragon to myself, for I believed that to enslave another creature was immoral. As such, I did not understand the power that connection gave. I thought the prison I had made was perfect. But their dragons were the conduit through which they spoke to dreaming minds.
What can you tell me about the archdemons themselves?
Each is different, shaped by the whims and ego of its master. Elganon is the lord of tyranny. He would have ruled alone had Mythal not forced him to share power. Those who are strong, he molds into dictators themselves, with visions of godhood. Those who are weak, he crushes. His archdemon reflects him. It is huge, to feed his ego, the epitome of dragonkind, bent to his will.
Oh, ho capito, quindi gli arcidemoni che danno vita ai flagelli non sono davvero dei, sono i servitori degli dei a cui gli dei avevano legato la loro anima.
Damn. Tell me what you really think of the guy.
He is cruelty and arrogance personified. All of the Evanuris were flawed, but he made all of them worse. By contrast, Gillenane was a servant of Andrul, whose skill at making monsters earned her promotion to the Evanuris. She is brilliant, ambitious, and unconstrained by anything you would understand as morality. In a kinder world, you would never need to see what she has done to her archdemon. In this world, I only hope you kill it quickly. In any event, the Evanuris will not be vulnerable until their archdemons are dead.
Sì, esattamente come Corypheus, d'accordo.
Any other surprises we should know about?
Even with their dragons dead, the Evanuris are powerful and well protected. You will need to use my dagger, the one you recovered. It can pierce their enchantments and strike them down.
All right. Kill the archdemons, then use the dagger to take down the gods.
Even a single opportunity to strike the Evanuris down will be rare, fleeting, and costly. You will not have another chance to catch them unawares. When you strike, you must be fully prepared.
Quindi dovremmo andare a uccidere i loro draghi in modo da renderli vulnerabili, esattamente come Corypheus. Ok, molto figo. Io direi che questa sequenza è stata bellissima e ci fermiamo qui. È stata molto bella questa sequenza. Sono curioso di sapere cosa ne pensate voi. Secondo me è uno dei momenti migliori fino ad ora del gioco. Si sono scoperte un sacco di cose di lore che prima non si sapevano, che collegano tutto, veramente bello. Ora sono ancora più interessato a vedere il suo seguito, Mythal, il pezzo di Mythal, il dialogo con Morrigan lunghissimo, molto molto figo, molto profondo, mi è piaciuto un sacco. Anche la parte in cui parla dello spirito che arriva, che presentava una parte di Flemeth, bello. Fatemi sapere cosa ne pensate. Io, parlando d'altro, io spero che nel futuro, in un'altra scena, se dovesse riapparire Verloi, sperando che riappaia, venga parli, dica, si manifesti in modo più profondo, faccia vedere il potenziale che è come personaggio l'inquisitore, perché non sono soddisfatto ancora, non sono deluso, semplicemente voglio di più. Lasciate il like se vi è piaciuto il video e noi ci vediamo al prossimo. Ciao.